You suck, Rocky.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day long.
What? You suck, Rocky. What are you all doing in this chat? What about my prime? Oh, hey guys, how's it going? It is a 42nd episode of Toxic Tuesday, the Rocky edition. The Rocky edition. We got to this point, guys. Everything has led to this point. I can't believe we did it. It's been glorious, but nice to see you all. How you all doing? I see Vince Womack. What's up? The chef Nick Muro. How you doing? How you doing? The lovely Sherry, Cody Guy, D Bud Martin, Monkey G Bus, Darius Munchausen, Dr. Dragon. Hello, 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 and welcome to the Toxic Tuesday. Nice to see you guys. Thank you as always for coming in. We're bringing our panel hot, fast, and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza. Starting with our usual suspects, Marky with a C.
Yo, how you doing?
I'm doing. How
good?
you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, well, I'm mostly Italian too, so I can make fun of the Italians, right? So yeah, this is
Yes.
this is an awesome underdog story we'll get into. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome panel tonight, and glad to be here. And yeah, it's gonna be a fun movie to watch. Yep, we're going over.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's gonna be huge. Oh,
Huge.
Hold up. What I don't even know what I did. No, hold on. That wasn't even supposed to be a thing. There we go.
Yeah, it looked good.
It did look good. It was meant to be a background. Damn it! It's meant
Not
to be
an
a
overlay.
background. Not an overlay. How you doing though, Mark?
Yeah,
Seriously.
feeling better. Still got a little, not 100%, but getting there. So this damn bug is going. Everyone's getting it now. All these friends are getting it all over.
Dude,
Like,
I got
getting sick.
Yeah. Was it 2 weeks ago? I got sick, and then my children got sick after. Then my girlfriend got sick, and it was just like I'm like, and I think Klobby got sick, or he was
sick before me.
Yeah, going around. So I'm like, you sons of bitches, everyone's just getting sick. What the fuck is this shit, man? I never get sick.
Especially if you're trying to be on, you want to be on YouTube and your voice goes. It's like,
I know. The worst. All right, let's bring in our other boys here. Mr. Brutal Keto Simple Dustin. How you doing?
Doing great. It's gonna be huge.
Huge.
Yeah,
He
huge.
said it. Yes. He said it. Yes, I love it. Well, welcome, sir. How you been lately?
Oh, living the dream, man. Living the dream.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Not sick, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, no,
That's
nothing sick is good. I see Max Redstone delete scenes. How you guys doing? No, dude, that's good. Glad you can, as always, be with us for another night of toxicity and greatness. So, bringing in our other boys, that 70s rock fan.
Yo, I'm here tonight to support the Dancing Destroyer, the King of Sting, the Count of Monte Fisto, the Thane of Pain, the Prince of Punch, the Master of Disaster, the one, the only Apollo Creed. Hail Apollo. Stick it to that privileged Italian guy.
Yeah, he had a great house, Rocky. A great apartment.
That privileged apartment that was super run down. That probably scared Adrian. That shit.
By the way, if you guys want to stop getting sick, just stop kissing each other. It's that simple.
Hey, I can't help
that
him
was
just
the problem?
be making out, man.
You guys had mono?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've moved up to stereo, I think.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Anyways,
So sick
70s.
at stereo.
Good to have you back. Obviously you were gone last week, so you were missed, and we lost Gary tonight.
Out.
Yeah, we lost Gary from the pop culture minefield. So it's
Man.
I
he's
lost
not
one,
feeling
I
good.
got one back. So this is how it's happening. Everyone's getting freaking sick. I'm
Cool.
just tired of this shit when everyone gets sick.
Well, I'm
Come on,
glad to be
guys.
back, buddy. Thanks for
I'm
having me.
glad
Pamp is
you're
down.
All right. Let's bring in our boys here. We got this guy here. I think you've seen him before.
Hello, internet peoples. I'm here to talk about the squirrel and the moose, and I really like Bullwinkle more than I like Rocky. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't know what else to tell you. It's a little squirrel.
How's it going, Tom?
Bullwinkle is so much more funnier.
Oh, enough said. When Tom is here, he just needs to do a voice.
We're here to talk about the show.
Yes, this movie.
I got
per se,
an
Ivan.
invitation in my inbox.
Yes, but it's a movie though, Ivan. Just
The
just so we're
movie
clear
Rocky,
here.
not the squirrel.
No, if you're looking for the show, you're at the wrong
Rocky. The
show,
only other
bro.
time he lost besides Rocky 4 when he lost against Ivan Drago. Very
No,
good film.
he won. He beat Ivan Drago, Ivan.
Not in my version.
Oh, is this your truth? Is this your
In the
truth,
Russian
Ivan?
version.
No, in the Russian version, Ivan Drago win. He says, "Too bad I had to kill Rocky, but if we can work together and live together, then maybe we are getting along now, and we don't need the Cold War no more." And Ivan Drago single-handedly ended Cold War with Rocky 4.
And avoided completely Rocky 5, which was a good thing.
There is no Rocky 5. Rocky dead.
Exactly.
Ivan, shut up! I don't got time for that shit tonight. All right. Anyways, there you go. I like that guy better. All right, bringing our boys here. Another usual suspect. He's pretty much here like on a good part-time basis. He is the red shirt. Just another red shirt.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Hey,
How's everybody doing tonight?
Red shirt. We're doing good. How you doing?
Red shirt, yo.
Yeah, good to hear it.
Red
Good
shirt.
to hear it.
All right. I'm good.
Looking forward to this.
Your shirt isn't red.
No. My red shirt's in the cleaners.
It's in the cleaners.
Yeah.
Well, if you just use your heads and say it's clean, that's fine too. That's what we do in
What
Philly.
you do? Take it to the zoo.
Yeah.
The retards.
I hear they like zoos.
You're a bum, Rock. A bum. All
Rocky, take it to the zoo.
right.
And he does.
I'd have broke your thumbs.
What's up, Rudy? Long time no see, my
Hey,
man.
Rudy.
All
Hey.
right, let's bring in our two boys. They've been patient here. He's one of my good friends. He's on Yelling at Park Cars with me a lot. He is the good voice guy. Mr. Sir talks a lot.
Hello, my friends. I would just like to say I made some good money on that Apollo fight.
Oh, you betted on it?
Oh, yes, I made a killing.
Wait, I am knowing you. You are my cousin. Olaf, this is his
You
neighbor.
have to listen to me, Tovarish Kolo. If that is not the government-sanctioned vodka in your cup, then you have to go back to the gulag. You understand this, yes?
No, this is
Smirnoff?
my good vodka glass. I would never put bad vodka in my grandfather's good vodka glass.
That's good, because last time they caught you drinking that Finnish shit, they locked you up for like 6 months.
You said you
So-
weren't going to tell nobody.
Hey, man, quit fucking up, okay?
You
Okay,
said you weren't going to tell.
it's a good talk. You still owe me the money over the Apollo fight.
Damn it.
They made 19 Apollo movies, you know.
19.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Corey. How you doing,
For
dude?
some reason, I
I'm
can't
good,
seem to
bro.
find the first ones, though. I don't know.
All right. Last but not least, he's brand new to the toxicity of the Tuesday. He's been a watcher in the chats, and he has a channel to call his own as well. And he is the first Pope Metallicus.
Want you?
Metallicus
Want
the
you?
first.
Want the chat?
It was good. I see what you did there. How's it going, Pope? Welcome.
How's it going, guys? Good to be here.
Thank
Doing
you
good.
for joining us, my friend. All right. It's a pleasure to have you on. I think we picked a great movie to have you on for. And this is there's just, oh my God. You know what? Since you're the guest, why don't you tell us about Life with Rocky for you?
Yeah, man. Like, I haven't seen all of them that many times. I avoid 5 like the plague. after
Oh,
the
that's
first
fine.
time.
We're not talking about 5.
Um, But no, I first saw Rocky when I was probably like 13, 14, and I really enjoyed it. It was a really like, a good story and a good message to send to people of, of just working hard and determination can get you far in life. And that kind of attitude got me through that organization right there.
Ah, yes, that'll do that. You'll need it for that. That's an understatement there, my friend. Killer. No, for me, Rocky, it was part of my upbringing. For me, this was a cultural way of life. My dad and my brothers were into it. And I just remember, it was definitely my Sylvester Stallone gateway. So there's a lot of attachment for these movies because I watch these endlessly, especially on the TNTs and TBSs of the world. This was one of those things where you always had them on. Even if everything else is going on, you always left that on for background noise too. The Rocky movies were that way for me, and the soundtrack stuck out to me too. I remember just trying to do my bad voice, Rocky Floyd now, in second grade pre-puberty voices. And people are like, why is that kid singing? But yeah, it's just the soundtrack. It was moving. It was super inspirational, and watching the fights, obviously as a kid, it's holy crap, a boxing movie. That's cool. Obviously I was coming up from the phase of Mike Tyson being the big name, so it's cool to see a boxing movie, and it just blew my mind to see this guy who had this really funny voice, and he's being this guy. He's kind of he's like a musclehead that's but he's really funny, but unintentionally a fish out of water type of musclehead. And then you got him just being this Joe Schmo competing for the heavyweight championship. Kind of reminds me of with the Simpsons episode when I looked at a few years later with Homer competing against Dredrick Tatum, which obviously Tatum was the Mike Tyson counterpart. So for any of the Simpsons fans out there, but seriously, I've watched these movies, particularly the first one is one of the ones I've watched hundreds of times. Absolutely phenomenal. And I always feel like a lot of the supporting characters don't get as much credit too, because obviously we all love Mickey here, but we really love to hate Paulie. We love saying his name, but we love to hate him because he's such a dick to his sister, but he's such a memorable character. And of course, you got Apollo Creed. He's the showman. He's like the Muhammad Ali of this whole thing. He's the showboat. He wants to rule the roost type of thing. He's trying to give the guy the American dream type of thing. And I love Carl Weathers' performance. He's very charismatic. He keeps you glued to his energy. Everywhere he's going, he's bringing the Patriot game with him. So I feel like the supporting cast is actually the thing that doesn't get talked about enough, because we're always talking about the music and the voices, and of course Stallone's great performance. But I feel like the supporting cast should get more recognition. So anyone want to bounce off of that? Well, the floor is yours. Take it away, guys.
Is it me, or does in this movie Sylvester Stallone trying to channel Vinnie Barbarino?
A little bit, yeah.
I thought about Marciano, Rocky Marciano, because of that poster that we saw later on in the movie, where if you look at the poster when they're during the fight between Rocky and Apollo, if you look at the way he's posed on that poster,
my voice.
Look at the way he's posed on that poster, in the arena, and then look at his Rocky Marciano poster in the movie, and the pose is very similar to Marciano. So I'm just saying, I think it's just based off of that, but you could be right though, Dustin.
Well, plus as an Italian too. I mean, that's Italians idolize Rocky Marciano, so an Italian guy named the Italian Stallion from Philly.
Oh yeah,
South Philly too.
About,
just
I don't know
try
about
to emulate him.
using any of Travolta's voice, but I do know that Sly did inspire a very famous character that most people don't know about. Of course, you all have seen Happy Days, right?
Oh, of course.
And you know the Fonz, right?
Yes, the Winkley.
Hey. Henry Winkler said he stole the voice, the mannerisms, the leather jacket, the hair, everything from Sylvester Stallone. The Fonz is Sylvester Stallone.
Weren't they in Lord the Flash?
Yes, and that's where he met him. Yes, that's how he
Lord
Lord
the Flash Flatbush, right? Yep.
Hey Nick, have you ever been? You've been to Milwaukee a bunch, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Bronze Fonz?
No, I've not. I know of it, but I've not been there.
It's the creepiest fucking thing.
Even creepier than the spooky hallway at the rave. I'm sure you've heard the urban legends about that. Have you not? I'll have to message you about that.
Yeah, message me about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, there's a creepy room at the Eagles ballroom. But anyways, back to Rocky. I feel like this obviously, I mean, just off of him alone, he's such a great lead character because he's this guy who lives in the most beat down, crappiest place, but he's so happy with his life. He's like, no, I'm gonna go somewhere and I'm gonna do things. It's gonna be really cool. And
I really
it
love
doesn't
getting
matter.
punched in the face.
It doesn't matter if my place is beat down and broke out because I got 2 turtles and I got Rocky Marciano posted. I got 10 photos of me too as well. So
Hey, Buckus!
I mean, he made $200 from that fight, man. Would be like $200.
I thought it was 150,000.
No. From the opening fight because he gave.
The opening fight. Yeah, 200.
It was like $40, but that would be like $200, and
didn't he get 1765 for fighting Apollo?
It was actually wrong. It was like supposed to be. It was actually would have calculated like 1755, but or 4055 because he calculated the tax wrong.
Yeah, they're showing it now.
Well,
Yeah, 4055. Yeah.
You know, Nick, you said this was your gateway to Stallone's movies.
Yes.
This was Stallone's gateway to Stallone's movies. I mean, he was in 13 movies before this. 3 of the parts were uncredited. One was a softcore porno, and one was The Lords of Flatbush.
Right. Death Race 2000.
That was the porno, Lords of Flatbush.
No, that wasn't the porno.
Oh,
No. But no, he wrote the screenplay because he'd seen Wepner fight Ali. And he was inspired to write this, and he shopped it around. But he said, "I'll only sell you the rights to the screenplay if you let me play Rocky." And they had to take a chance on him. And there's a lot of Sylvester Stallone in Rocky in the early part of the movie. He's a struggling actor. He's a journeyman. He's been taking the parts that he can get, and this is his big break. This movie is Stallone's big break, like the Apollo Creed fight is Rocky's big break.
Yeah, Rocky's an unconventional boxer. He's not got great technique. Stallone, same could be said of Stallone. I mean, he's got the speech thing. He's not exactly leading man material at that time. You wouldn't think.
Right.
No, he's once again he's a guy who's lovable. Like once again, he's got the turtles. He's super nice. He's the neighborhood guy. Everyone loves him. But he's definitely got his airheady type of moments where he doesn't seem like he's all there in some ways. But you still love him though. Like as you get invested in him right away in the movie. Once again, yeah, I could see where you're coming from, Redshirt, on that though. To answer your statement, I could see that Rocky coming up was also Stallone. I now that you say that, I can't unsee that. It makes too much sense. And come on, guys, he's got undeniable luck with the hat and the jacket. I mean, come on, you can't do that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. That's why I think the movie works so well because he's not an a-hole that just got a break. He's a guy.
Well, you're not wrong that a lot of Sly is in this movie. Like literally, there's so much of him in this movie. Like the costume, the pets. Mm-hmm. That's his dog. That's his fucking turtles.
Yes, that's right. True.
This is probably shit from his actual apartment.
The turtles I heard the turtles lived long. Are the turtles still alive?
I think they are still alive. Last I heard, because they did make a cameo in I think Creed 2 or Creed 1. I can't remember.
They were in one of the Creeds. That's true. They were in one of the Creeds, and that that makes so much sense because there you go. See, that's the pose. Now remember that pose for when you see the arena poster. Yeah, remember that pose because when they show the fight later.
A southpaw, or was he? Does anybody know?
I think he was.
Because that's what Rocky was, wasn't he? Southpaw.
Rocky was a southpaw. That's what he was known for.
Right. Well, here's where the whole Wepner thing comes into debate because yes, there's certain aspects that Sly took from Wepner, certain things he clearly took from Rocky Marciano, things he took from his own life. And people don't know, a lot of people don't know that the original version of the script was probably closer to the tone of Raging Bull than it was Rocky. Because Rocky in the original version, not only is he a thumb breaker, but he's not a very good person, right? Like he's not this lovable goof that we see in this version, he's kind of a creep, and he throws the match at the end because he's promised a bunch of money from the mob and shit that he works for. Like he's like has been, and he knows it, and he's really not a great guy. I think there's even a scene in the original script where he beats Adrian and shit like that. Like it wasn't a very good
would have
movie.
been a one-off.
So Sly went, he rewrote it like 10, 15 times until we got to this version.
Yeah.
I'm glad he took the
Glad they
time to do
did.
that.
I'm very glad they did.
God.
Well, see, I always thought what I got out of it was he was just kind of awkward because, like, I didn't see it as I didn't see it. I could see where he comes from, the creepy thing, but I just thought, oh, he was just kind of socially awkward because if you remember, he was going around the neighborhood and everyone like had a liking to him, like, oh, hey, Rocky, type of thing. You know how people in the neighborhood used to be.
Well, you got to remember when he originally started writing this too. This was in the early 70s when he would have first wrote it. And you had people we were coming out of the Vietnam War. A lot of the movies of the time weren't exactly happy films. Like you had stuff from Rosemary's Baby to The Exorcist to Death Wish to, you know, some very dark and dour films. So I can see where Sly was trying to sell this, you know, hard edge street kind of movie. But then, you know, once he seen this opportunity for him to star in it, well, then he clearly had to make this guy lovable. Right. And he had to make him an underdog. And then with Adrian, you know, he saw them as kindred spirits, as this, you know, the awkward couple, right? Like the guy who just couldn't seem to speak right, and she can't speak because she's so shy, you know, like there's just so much in there that I mean, he broke it down to its essence of what we love of Rocky. And you know, and I think, you know, you talked about some of the sequels earlier, but like, I don't think they get enough credit. Like he built on this character so well. And even the fifth film, I feel like people shit on too much, when I feel like we get some of the better character moments out of Rocky in that movie too. And even Rocky Balboa was a huge surprise. And
that was a great movie. Yeah,
and I like Creed, okay, but I loved Creed 2 more because it had more connection to Rocky's past, right? And I loved getting to see Ivan Drago as this actual person and not this machine that he was shown in the film before that. And again, like these characters, we grew to love them, right? Like that goes off of your original question, Nick, is the cast, right? Supporting cast. It's the supporting cast that continued to build around Rocky, whether it was he lost Mickey and he, you know, gained a more of a friendship with Apollo, and then, you know, and so on and so forth. And of course, Paulie's always there for the most part, and, you know, his relationship with Adrian and stuff like that. So, I mean, and these cast are who make Rocky who he is, right? So I mean, I agree with you. Like this is not just a seminal movie for Sylvester Stallone. It's a seminal movie for just about everybody in it. Period.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it was a huge film at the time too. On top of it all.
So Tom, another thing, Tom, that they put in here, which isn't explicit apart from a couple of things Apollo says, is the kind of general malaise around America and the industrial decline of the mid-70s. You can see a lot of it in the very rough industrial and working class areas that it's filmed in, but things don't look good. Even if maybe they never looked good in these areas, but things are starting to go downhill a bit there too. So there's a certain loss of hope in those areas, and Rocky's, you know, impacted by that to a certain extent as well. I mean, he's scrabbling to get by, like many other people are, even the people he's collecting from. So
yeah,
that's kind of in there too, you know.
Yeah, and this is to that extent, this is a period piece.
Yeah.
What else do we have around the same time? But well, even before this, you know, Death Wish, and in New York City, and you know, the Dirty Harry movies in San Francisco.
Chinatown might have been out by now.
Yeah, I think it was. So I mean, you know, U.S. cities in the 70s were not in great shape, and it wasn't
Fort
just
Apache,
one.
the Bronx.
It wasn't just Philly. Yeah, Fort Apache, the Bronx, another one, and Serpico. So, you know, I know that was in the 70s somewhere. I mean, that's the urban movie in the 70s was usually not, you know, the glitz of Park Avenue or Central Park East.
Right.
You know, it was areas where it was kind of, well, you know, it sucks to be here. And then they told stories about how difficult life was for some people, and they dealt with it, and they had stuff to overcome. So you had an instant, you know, you had an instant struggle right there.
No, I can see that. You really do get the hood vibe out of this. I like he's in the ghetto, like beat down area. It's run by shady people, and
It's
if
funny
he
you
wants to
called
get
it-
around and make money, he has to play ball with the big boys who run the area.
I think it's funny you called it a period piece because even though I mean it was shot at the time, it clearly takes place in when it was shot.
Right.
But what's funny is us coming out of the Vietnam War and the type of place that America was at that time and the type of movie this feels like. You could subplant this, or you could tell me this takes place in the 1940s, and I'd believe you, like post-war. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would totally believe that. Like, it feels like this story could have been, right after World War II kind of thing too.
The story, well, yeah, the story of Rocky, like any boxers. I mean, this story's been told time and time and time again in boxing. Boxing has always been a way to escape. The city, Philly, here is the thing he wants to escape. And that's been true for lots of young men in lots of places, and that's the gym is their haven, and it's their launch pad. So that's universal. That you could tell in any period of time that there was professional boxing. But yeah, Philly at the time, not in great shape. So that fits. It just wasn't it just wasn't specific to Philly. I don't want to start getting angry DMs from people who grew up in Philadelphia.
Well, I'm sure
I do.
we've got a special place
I
in
really
Philadelphia
do.
with the statue, and it's a universal movie, right?
Well, no,
you got that
America was in
classic
rough
underdog
shape at this
movie,
time.
and you could translate to any time. I mean, you watch it. If my kids watch it today, that they love the movie. It doesn't, it's set in that time, but it doesn't.
I mean, like I said, not just Vietnam, but this is also coming off of Nixon and all this other. I mean, this was a very
you had Carter with
multi-
Jimmy Carter with Malaise, although that was I think in '78 when really.
I think it was 78 because this is 76. This is
but I think
76.
Yeah, it was
but
just
the
a
70s
general
are really
feeling
tough.
of decline.
The economy was
in working
America.
class areas. Yeah.
America was no longer number one in the world, and coming off the Vietnam War, and then you had the hostage crisis in Iran is a few years off, but everything was looking down for America. So that was interesting. Later we'll see Apollo coming in, so pro-American, and he was wearing the George Washington outfit, and it's a feel good movie.
You broke this mirror.
Yeah, he's got no hair to him.
Yeah.
God,
and
look at that shiny
and
head.
76, keep in mind, was the bicentennial.
Yep.
I remember all of the stops they pulled out. Yeah, they printed the special quarters and they did a whole lot of other things. And it was, it was an attempt, and sometimes it felt a little hollow because of all of the other historical trends that were headwinds against the idea of celebrating the 200th anniversary of the the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And it was kind of weird because you had on the one hand these big celebrations of the United States is 200 years old, rah rah, hey, and then you had movies like this and others that we've talked about.
But yeah, it was kind of presented to me almost like it was what we would call an apology tour now, basically, because like America was not well liked throughout. Like I said, we came out of Vietnam, and it felt like some people were saying like it almost felt like we were trying to reinvigorate who we were and reestablish who we were, and it just kind of felt like it was weird. And at that time to celebrate America after we had just did what we did, it just kind of felt off, I think.
Well, plus you had the gas crisis too, don't forget, and inflation, which you're getting a taste of now. It's been since the 70s we've really had bad inflation, and people out of work, you had the factory shutting down, and it was just a lot of malaise. So I think the feeling of this movie was such that underdog, anyone can make it, and this is America, and it's got such an uplifting ending, even though he doesn't technically win, but who cares at that point? He's made the distance, and that's why I think that really people love this movie. And he's not a jerk in this movie, Rocky. He's a really lovable character. I think he's kind of an outsider too, like you said, Nick. He is socially awkward, and he's popular in the neighborhood, but he's not, doesn't have a big crew that he's running with, right? Who are his friends? He's got Paulie, and he's trying to pick up the girls selling, turtle food in the pet shop. I mean,
Paulie's the one who is the actual creep, and obviously we see why later on in the movie. But Paulie is the one because, like, even though he has good intentions for Rocky. He's just a guy who gets by. His sister does everything for him. He's a guy who comes home and expects everything done for him. Like,
Well,
he's kinda... Go ahead,
that
Tom.
is true, but he also, you got to see it from Paulie's angle too, right?
Okay.
When the movie starts out, like, look at it. Paulie is the alpha in the situation, right? He's the big brother.
Yes, of course.
His and Rocky's friendship is at least on an even keel. By the time you get to the second half of the film, Rocky's on this road to fighting Apollo, and he's getting all this attention. He's losing his sister to Rocky, and he sees a future where he's all alone, right? So he's acting that way out of fear. And I'm not giving Paulie excuses, but I just love the character, how subtle it is. Just a brilliant character, because he is a flawed character, but flawed in a way like we all are, right? Because we all would feel that sense of loss, like say your best friend all of a sudden wins the lottery and goes and marries your sister, and he's going to go rush off to some remote beautiful place and leave you behind. That's kind of how he's feeling at this point. It's he acts out in a way that obviously we don't agree with, but you can understand his feelings, because he all this time he was kind of not so much the center of attention, but it was Paulie. He was Paulie. He had his place, and now he doesn't have his place anymore.
Oh no,
it reminds me of high school.
Tom.
High school,
Yes.
I had a good friend who all of a sudden got a girlfriend and didn't want to hang out, with the gang anymore. It's like, well, we're not good enough for you anymore.
Even though it was his idea for them two to get together in the first place, right? Like, he saw it at first as a way to keep his best friend around more often, and then it turned out he was losing his sister in the process. Is kind of the way I think he saw it.
Okay, no, I see where you're coming from now. It definitely gives me a...
But finally, the real hero of the film is
Yes.
Apollo Creed.
I love Carl Weathers in this flick. Seriously,
Thank
he's
God
so,
the real heroes here.
he's
This
like
man.
seriously, he's so fun and engaging to watch with that he's got the energetic
And he pulls
persona.
off any outfit he ever puts on too. I mean, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. Like, he pulls that tie off. Like, most people would look like Rodney fucking Dangerfield wearing that tie. Like, he looks like a badass, dude. All right.
So
And
That's
like,
I
he's
never
rocking a
really
pink
realized
shirt.
how gaudy that tie was until you just said that, Corey.
and he's rocking a pink shirt.
Yeah.
That guy in pink back then was either like on stage shaking his ass and singing funk music, or like, maybe slapping some hoes. Like, but he still pulls
He
it
looks like
off.
he's
He makes
still
it
gonna
look
slap
good.
a hoe.
Maybe, yeah, the bald hoe behind
Look
him.
at that smile. That's the slap a hoe smile.
Yeah, that's I just slapped a hoe smile.
Yeah, there it is. Did anybody else get a
Quick
weird vibe off The Agent?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
He's an agent.
Dude,
Of course,
agents are shitty,
The promoter. Well,
Yeah,
he's
but promoters
Don
in my
King.
opinion are always
bro.
great guys and never lie or cheat or do anything.
No,
Right.
promoters,
Well,
saints and angels. on
That's
fucking
right.
You know what
Guardians
else
of
that
the
actor played?
Giants.
You know what other role that actor played? Not right around this time, not far off.
What?
He was Dragon, the spy master in the Iger Sanction, the albino.
Right. Okay. I didn't realize it.
And
love
I
the
just
Iger
got this
Sanction.
weird, I've seen that guy before feeling, and I had to jump on IMDb, pause the movie, jump on IMDb, and sure enough, the guy who plays the promoter played Dragon. And I was like, I thought that guy looked weird.
Systematically.
I love that line. I want you on it instamatically. You want the bird? Go on now, you get the bird.
Do you think he flubbed the line, or was that planned, that line instamatically?
That sounds like a Sylvester Stallone thing. Like I think
Yeah.
that was written.
If you look at where Adrian started off in this movie and to where she was in Rocky 5, she has obviously not just evolved personalities, but she looks like her appearance is completely almost night and day. Obviously, she had the long black hair, but she went from a girl who looks like the even more awkward nerd, and now to the wife of Rocky Balboa, who's there being basically the cheerleader at home. If you had told me, oh hey, that's the same lady, I'm like, oh, I thought Rocky had done a divorce, because she looks drastically different. So she had a big character growth in herself with that character. I was like, bro.
No, she's a gorgeous woman. So yeah, and of course,
Talia Shire.
Yeah,
Talia Shire. Yeah. Talia Shire.
So she was. When was The Godfather out in '74? Or
72, wasn't it?
72. All right, so yeah, so she's you've got great, like you said before, there's great supporting characters, and Burgess Meredith with that voice, and the old,
Oh yeah,
Crystal.
You're a bum!
Get her. You're a bum. You're a bum. It all works. I mean, it's all every scene in this movie works. It's so well done, and
It's a beautiful
I don't know if we
movie.
touched on the music too, but the score, just the
Bill
notes and the
Conti's
Conti,
beautiful, beautiful.
it just
One of the all-time
tugs at your
classics.
heartstrings and your emotions. Even see, of course, we
Simple on
can't
top
find
of it, just the piano most of the time.
Yeah, the piano, like the scene where they're skating and he hits those chords, and then it tugs at your your emotions right there. And this is supposed to be a boring scene, right? It's watching these two, Adrian go around the skating rink, but it really works, and it's a charming scene. And a lot of it's unfortunately we can't hear the music, but just that soundtrack just is amazing, right?
I
don't
just
think
love
the
that
movie works as well
Stallone,
without it.
Stallone's
can
just
hum it
taking
for us.
steps. He's just taking natural footsteps. Like, hey, look at me. He's just, hey, look,
Yeah.
I can do this, guys.
I gotta wonder if they put like a runner down for him or something.
He
yeah.
skates like the Dallas Stars. And I'm a Dallas Stars fan.
You mentioned Tom. You mentioned that the script works in every scene. And think about that for a minute. This is a guy. I mean, how many screenplays do you? Now he did 10 revisions or whatever, but how many screenplays do you think Sylvester Stallone had ever written? Never mind seen. And he
Up to
writes
this point?
this. And you look at the people who write screenplays today, who get paid to do it, and are they're supposed to be good at it.
I know,
And
they
they can't
can't
write-
for years. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
This is incredible that this all came together the way it did.
Yeah,
this
and
is
clearly
almost that's improbable.
It's because he kept spending so much time on it, and he had such a strong vision in his head. I think by the time the movie came to be, that if it was something he had written just a few months before and jumped into it, we wouldn't have got the same movie. I don't think. And
Oh, definitely.
as far as
not.
what he had done before this, I don't think he had done a lot. I mean, I'm sure he had worked on a few things, but nothing we ever saw. I think he had a lot to do with Lords of Flatbush, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might have. I don't know if he wrote on that, but I
That's
think
such a funny name, Lords of Flatbush.
So what's really weird is I'm
That's
looking at
the
this information,
yeah.
and it's showing because we're talking about how he wrote the script, and basically Irwin Winkler and Robert Chardoff became interested in the script, and they offered Stallone like $350,000 for the script, and he had like $100 in the bank and no car, was trying to sell his dog because he couldn't afford to feed him.
which would be Buttkiss, by the way.
Yep.
Definitely not named after the NFL player. Not a coincidence.
Hey, Buttkiss!
Hey, Lucas!
Yes, I mean, and it's a movie that it went on to win an Academy Award, didn't it?
Yeah, he
I
got
thought Best
nominated,
Picture.
and I think a few other people got nominated, but it did win Best Picture. I don't know if it won
It won Best
Best
Picture.
Screenplay or not, but
And it was the highest grossing movie of that year, too.
76, yeah.
I love how like the scene you just showed on screen where it was all like, my nose ain't never been broken. 64 fights.
Well, that's
Busting on
foreshadowing.
it, chewing on it, twisting it, punching it. I mean, whack, boom. Like, come on. He's like super proud about the fact he's like, I've never had my nose broken. It's like, yeah, because it's fucking gigantic. It should have been broken at least 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm a guy who knows, Like,
It's a hard target to miss.
Think how hard you'd have to hit it.
Right, the
going
cartilage
back-
just thickened up with every punch. It's just like, I'd strength condition my nose, and it's just like banging my face into a wall.
He's
for
got the
20 minutes
strongest
every
head
day.
in the game because he gets hit the most. It's
Right?
It's been hit so much.
All these other kids, they brag about wanting to be an astronaut, firefighter, but I just got into 64 fights. That's what makes me cool. So how about that, huh? God, look, this place is like, this is the epitome of like, is that, look at that light over the turtle.
Welcome to my love shack.
Yeah.
He doesn't even like try to clean off the couch or anything.
Yeah.
He's like, just sit out the trash.
No, the line he
Right.
says to her when he sits there, he said, "Oh, you want to go over there? The bugs hang out over there," or something like of that.
Yeah, when he walked in,
Big
he's all
bugs
like,
hang
hey,
out
you
over
want-
there.
Dude, when they
Come
walked
sit
in,
on
he
this
was
couch.
basically like, hey, you want a donut? It's like he's not exactly a classy guy. So I mean, come on, he's not gonna clean the couch off.
Well, Lindsay's comment's right. Like they're both socially awkward. I'd say like she's even more so because as she said, she had never been to a guy's house, and so that's probably because she has the overprotective brother that is Paulie. So like, and also she was also cleaning up living from him living his life, but. Yeah, there are two people who don't really have much experience doing it. Oh, dude, I love this because he doesn't have a phone. He's like,
got no
hey,
phone."
Paulie, your sister's with me.
I guess Rocky's not on Twitter either.
Yeah, right.
No.
Right. You know.
Well, and he can't clean off the couch. The newspaper is the couch. I mean,
right?
No.
Yeah. You know,
it's
the
what's covering up
fact
the
that
springs.
the fact that all these characters were naturally awkward is what made them so engaging and so like you could connect with them even if you're like there's no way I'm going to be a boxer or anything, but I understand how awkward this fucking guy is.
Well, and this is one of the more famous scenes
Like-
now, not just because like Lindsay said it's so romantic, but the opposite. This is the movie this is the scene that almost got this movie canceled. Like every year the mob comes around this scene and calls Rocky a dolphin lover because of it.
Here's your toxicity right here. Then.
Yeah, I was
According
going to
to
say
them.
this is like
According to
this is
them.
about as toxic as any scene gets in the movie because the whole thing of like he locks the door when they come in, he keeps the door locked, he keeps crowding her and stuff, and like
They're trying to say because she tried to leave and he stopped her. And then kissed
but
her
that's
without
so
permission. And all
ridiculous
that
because
shit.
then
She's
like
like,
she
I'm gonna
kisses
kiss
back.
you, and if you don't want to kiss me back, that's okay. Like, because they don't see
Yeah,
the
he even
whole
says that's okay.
body language.
They don't get it. It's one of the most, and I agree, it's one of the most romantic scenes in movies we've ever seen. And if you just don't get it, it's like,
No, Tom, these people don't understand this thing called nuance and actually looking beyond the surface of what they want to see, like them versus what is actually there and happening, and pay attention to the little minor details. They just want to focus on, they want to nitpick apart, straw man the argument, and make it about that. That's all they're doing. So fuck them. It's a great scene, and I'm not, a romanticizer type of movie, but it's a freaking beautifully made scene, and I'll be the first to concede to that without any shame per se. And we have RC from the NYC for $10. Says, what's up, Nick? What's up, panel? What's up, chat? Hope everyone is well. Rocky is one of the best boxing and one of the best sports movies ever, and its story and theme has not aged one bit. Preach it, RC, and thank you very much for the $10. I appreciate that, sir. Oh yeah, so it's oh yeah, this way it learns about being a second-rate loan shark, you know. Oh, it's a waste of life. That's I love he gets so red too. Like when because he has his normal voice, but then he has his voice. I was like pre-Christian Bale, like Rocky.
This is upset because he cared. He cared.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no, he cared, even though because he once again he was a boxer at one point, and there are moves he didn't make, and he said, "Hey, you need a manager. Like, I made some mistakes. I want you to be able to have the opportunities that I didn't have." So he wanted to be a yin to his yang, and I'm glad it worked out that way and once again, that's a great relationship too. The Rocky and Mick relationship. Love the relationship, and I love seeing them on screen together too because they're great when they're like having fun back and forth, but they're also great when they're fighting and arguing because you really feel the emotion because they're doing everything out of love and passion for what they want to go the distance. So it's such I love seeing these two together.
In the beginning of the movie too, you kind of don't get that vibe off of Mick, like until he gets the shot with Apollo. Mick's not even giving him the time of day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think it's just because he's being opportunistic, but you then find out it's kind of because like Rocky disappointed the hell out of him.
I think it goes both ways too. Yeah, it's a great point because Rocky's yelling at him and saying, where were you for me? That's a great scene coming up.
Yeah.
And in the stairway, and he's got that monologue there, and you're feeling his gut wrench. You're like, whatever went my way, and you got he doesn't have a locker anymore. And then he kind of realizes exactly what you said, and he runs down the stairs and goes after Mick. So he knows it's a two-way street, but he's letting it all out there, and that scene is just so well done when he's
and they're both
screaming
right,
at Mick.
right? Like, Rocky never lived up to his potential, but Mickey never showed the interest, right? And that's all Rocky wanted was that little little spark,
Acknowledgement.
just like
The
yeah,
push.
you know that you know, like when your dad says he's proud of you. That's all he wanted out of Mick, and he didn't even get that. Like, you know, you see the beginning of the movie, he's like, "Hey Mick, why is my stuff on Skid Row?" You know, and stuff like that. It's like he never got the respect out of Mick, let alone anybody else. But yeah,
because Mick casted a wall on himself with that type of thing. That's the thing. Like he made a mental wall between the two, and that's
well, and he
what
says it in that one scene. He's like, "You
Yeah.
became a fucking leg breaker instead of what you could have been, and as a great fighter, right?" You know, Mickey's seen his potential, but he's seen him just wasting it away for the last however many years.
Yeah, he wants to see Rocky want to do better and want to live up to his potential as a boxer. And that scene on the stairs when Rocky just lets go, doesn't know Mick is still standing there. And Mick is standing there listening to him going, maybe this guy does have a heart in the middle of him somewhere. But he turns and walks away and says, well, if he comes after me, fine. And Rocky does. And that's where each of them got what they were looking for from the other, that they hadn't seen. And that's where the relationship starts. Because they each had to move a little bit. One of them alone wouldn't do it.
All right, I got a great comment here from Mr. Tickle Trunk for $2. I feel like this is very important and definitely warrants the conversation. He says, Rocky helped Adrian out of her shell. He got handsy, but Rocky is the kind of character that would have stopped and asked, what's the problem? If she verbally said no or stop. He was persistent, but still very gentle with her. Mr. Tickle Trunk, very insightful comment for your $2.
Indeed.
Thank you for the $2, and thank you even more so for that comment. That once again, this is once again nuance, understanding things beyond the surface of what you want to see versus what is actually there. Thank you, Tickle Trunk. That was very.
I wouldn't
awesome
even say
comment.
handsy. I think that even makes it sound a little too risque. Like I would just say he asserted himself in the situation, but he didn't assert himself in a way that would make him intimidating. I would say, in a sense of
Not where she'd feel uncomfortable.
not only that, he had tried and tried and tried with this girl. You could tell, like, every day for God knows how many years, probably since they were kids, he's probably had a crush on this girl.
Telling her jokes, talking about like the flies and the moss and the moss choking his turtles.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can imagine, like, if him and Paulie were buddies since God knows when in high school or elementary, like, he's probably had a crush on this girl the whole time. You know, I'm willing to bet he's a virgin himself. I wouldn't doubt it.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
There's actually been debate about that.
Well, there's debate about everything, Tom.
That's a fair
I
point.
agree. I thought about them like, oh my god, Rocky Balboa is totally a virgin the way Captain America is a virgin. Seriously, like it's just like it makes sense. There are these guys who are super shredded, and you see them around the lady, and they're like,
I
what
think
do I
virtually
say?
everyone's
What
a
do I do?
virgin, Nick, because Paulie's probably a virgin
Well,
too.
it's just because of how socially awkward he is, right? Like they are such equal yet opposite social awkwardness, right? He don't know when to shut the fuck up, and she can't speak.
Oh yeah, he goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah,
Like when
and-
he was watching that one goes, hey, you gotta do this if you gotta do that. And the entire walk, she just kept
Alright.
smoking her cigarettes, walking, and he's just going on and on.
Well, they fill in each other's gaps, right?
Oh yeah,
There's not a
Exactly.
So to speak.
fucking chance in hell that Paulie is a virgin. That's the kind of guy that goes out and pays for sex because he knows he can't get it regular.
Oh no,
Good
Paulie
point,
was in the
Corey, good
military. Like you can
Oh,
see that
yeah.
in that picture.
Yeah.
He went to Korea and all that stuff, and that's what I'm saying.
He's
Yeah,
still
Paulie's-
going to pay for it.
And he paid
No.
for a date to go to Rocky's championship
Yeah,
fight.
that's true.
Yes.
For a date to look good at the fight.
And then he wound up with a robot. She loves me, you know.
Oh.
She told me.
Oh. All right, and once again, that reminder, guys. Remember, when we see the Rocky pose, so just remember that. That's the pose. It ain't Dempsey.
Ain't
It's
got no locker.
Marciano.
Got no locker.
Oh, is this that magical scene where they
Yeah,
where
it's
they
a
get
scene,
to the
yeah.
heat of it? This scene is so powerful. Oh man.
Both of them shine in this scene too, of just how they pulled it off and the raw emotion they put out in it too. They really sold it.
Now I want to give it to you. I want to give you this knowledge. I want to take care of you. Oh boy, that doesn't sound right.
How inspired though was it to get Burgess Meredith to play this part? Like, I doubt that was even their first choice. I'm not even sure. Does it say in any of the trivia anywhere?
Yeah, I'm looking through to see.
Because I
It's
gotta
still not
imagine
his-
they had probably somebody else in mind first. But
It's still not his greatest 5 minutes. That's at the after credits scene in Grumpy Old Men when he goes through all the different ways that you can make love. He's giving her love.
I was surprised that he lived to like 1997.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he's about to die in this movie.
My other favorite bit of
sorry, Tom.
No, I was just saying the other grumpy old men joke I love is like, she ate a quarter. That's no big deal. Kids put stuff in their mouth all the time. Now, if she craps out 2 dimes and a nickel, then worry.
Oh, hey, Klobby here says Frank Gorshin was busy. What's up, Klobby? How you doing, man? Oh, Lord.
I didn't have no favors from you. Yeah, there.
No,
Yeah.
Well, the most expensive cost on the film was makeup.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once
and he
again,
says next line's like, I never had no prime, or where was my prime? Yeah.
Burgess
What
Meredith
about
got the
my
part
prime,
of
man?
Mickey because the
There
other actors they
you go.
considered.
Dude, look at oh, go back that phone, pause it there. Look at look at the way his jaw.
He just ate a turtle right
Yeah, Rudy.
Okay, so what about Mickey now?
Rudy dropping truth bombs in the chat.
Yep.
This is true.
You can pay me now, or you can pay me later.
Ask Amber. So what was the deal with Burgess Meredith you were saying?
So Burgess Meredith got the part of Mickey because the other actors they considered for the role were insulted, and Sylvester Stallone wanted them to read for it.
But it doesn't say who.
It doesn't say who. No.
Burgess Meredith was an old school actor, the show must go on type, and I don't think he had that kind of an ego. I think he took the jobs he got and did the absolute best he could.
Well, he came from that
both
day player kind of Hollywood, right?
Yeah. I mean, TV. He did two of the greatest Twilight Zone episodes ever.
Batman and all that business. Yeah,
Batman. But yeah, he was a working actor. He wasn't he didn't. I don't think I would be surprised if he ever thought of himself as a star. He did his job. He hit his marks. He knew his lines. He played his characters did beautifully. But I've never heard of anything prima donna-ish.
Oh, never, no.
Related to Burgess Meredith. So if he came in as like, you want me to do what? You want me to play a trainer to a fading bum ex-boxer who gets a shot at the world championship? Yeah, what do you want me to do? I don't think it would have been any more complicated.
Character. What's even better is like, you don't really notice it at first, but if somebody points it out to you, like his ears are all fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's because of all the cauliflower ear from when he was younger. Like just the little things that they added to his character that you don't even really notice because they don't mention it. They don't bring it up, but it's there.
He mentions the vegetation in his ear once.
Yeah.
talking to Rocky,
Okay. Yeah, that's right. He does bring it up.
And that's
once.
it. And that's it.
Just
You're right,
to
though.
point out
They
that I'm
did.
getting up for work at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning as well, so I am Rocky.
Yeah.
Make sure you drink
Ouch.
7 eggs.
And I'm gonna do a montage.
Shut
I'll
up,
do a montage.
Apollo. Hey,
Wasn't that the
Apollo.
thing is they had to shoot this a few times because he kept throwing up when he was drinking the eggs or something like
Yeah, he
that?
makes a mess there. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he gets all over saying. I remember when I first saw this, like, I was like, ew, what the fuck is he doing? Drinking like 5 eggs of yolk.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, I still could.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on, Nick, your stomach can handle that, right?
Big old glass of snot.
Well, I've never drank
Exactly.
raw eggs, but I have like sous vide them to
Drizzling
where
down his
they're
face
not
like it's a money
that
shot.
far away.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead, Dustin.
So as I've never drank like just cracked and drank cold raw eggs, but I have sous vide them to where they're not till they're like below poached.
So they're like a egg smoothie, basically.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they're fucking delicious. And I mean, in a house of 3, we're down to 3 now in our house, and I still buy eggs that buy the 5 dozen. So
Wow.
Wow.
So you could have been an extra in this movie for stunt.
yeah, I mean, if I was
Could have been the
born,
stunt egg drinker.
It doesn't help that I'm not a big fan of eggs to begin with, so that yeah.
Ah.
He looks like he enjoyed it. I mean, come on. Look at
That
that,
scene
face.
was so
That's
famous, too,
pure
'cause-
enjoyment.
Don't look. No, his eyes look like he wanted to puke. Like, if you go back
Yeah.
a shot, it looked like he did want to puke a little bit. Like, I gotta hold it together before the camera goes off, so I don't throw. Oh,
Right
look at it, right
there.
there. Oh,
Right there. That's that. Is this going to be a belch or?
Well, that's what I was saying. Is they had to do so many takes of this because he kept throwing up while he was drinking the fucking eggs. So, yeah.
I would
Wow.
too, bro. I mean, come on.
But all
Yeah.
the kids wanted to try this in the set, and the mom's like, "You can't drink raw eggs." Like, I
My
want to
younger
take a
brother
chunk of
tried
Rocky.
this. I remember I think I was in 3rd or 2nd grade, and my younger brother, he was a year younger than me. He did this. I remember like he immediately like threw up his and I was like, you actually tried to do that. Because he got smart because he wanted to be like Rocky. So I was like, well, if I drink this and I start running, you know, I'll get strong. And so he tried to drink a bunch of eggs, and it did not go good at all.
Right.
It did not go good at all.
No, not
He
likely.
looks like he's been puking, bro. I mean, like, you can't
His
hide
clothes
that.
look like they're made of puke. Just look at those clothes.
Right.
They look like they're made of puke. Adrian's character, she had died after Rocky 5. She was killed off. Her character was killed off. I
Oh,
can't
she had
remember
cancer,
about
right?
Paulie. Yeah, I can't remember what happened with Paulie's character.
Wasn't he in Balboa?
He's in Balboa.
He's in Balboa, but they have him die in between Balboa and Creed.
Yes,
and that's just so they have a point where Rocky's all on his own, basically. Yeah.
There you go. There you go, Brian.
Even
Park.
though he's still alive, he just had a birthday the other day, actually.
Yeah, no, he's still
I
going.
think he's like 97 or some shit like that. But yeah,
Holy shit.
Wow.
who'd have thunk the Burt Young would be still alive? But yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
God
April
bless him.
30th, 1940. Yeah, jeez.
Burt Young.
maybe it's 92. I think he is.
92. Yeah, yeah.
It's all that
no, wait a
meat and
minute.
eggs.
60. No, he's
I've-
only
I've-
82. He's only 82.
Only 82.
82.
Okay, 82.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right. No,
I didn't think he was 90 something. I thought it
Youngster.
was.
Because it feels like he's 90 something.
Yeah, I was
Still
gonna say it had to be. Yeah, maybe.
Still doing a lot of work.
It's probably one of those situations where he really probably wasn't that much older than Stallone, or they were close to the same age, but he's playing like 10 years older
Mm-hmm.
or 5 years older or whatever he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. I wonder. No,
Hey, it's 82. Yeah. 82,
so hold on.
man.
And Stallone is in his 70s.
Oh yeah, Stallone's not as young. He was already 33
Yeah.
when he shot this, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was already in his 30s. Yeah, he was already in 30s when he started doing these movies. So that's kind of crazy, man.
Stallone's 76.
That gives me
Yeah.
some hope.
Yeah, 76. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Looks great for 76. Yeah. Maybe a little bit too much plastic surgery, but other than that.
Oh man, like, because I was thinking, like, think about like Apollo and think about Sylvester Stallone and think about how much better shape they get in over the next like 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Because
Steroids do wonders.
well, I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
don't care about all that, but I mean,
I've
I
stood at
imagine
that
they did.
spot.
I don't know, but I was just thinking, like, look at like in Predator, when it comes in and they do that fucking handshake and their muscles are just, and he's hanging with Schwarzenegger. You know what I mean? You're just like, what? To
And
see like this
Schwarzenegger's already
movie where he's
smaller
not
than he used to
that
be
ripped.
in Predator.
Do what now?
Like he's already smaller in Predator than he was in like Conan the Barbarian and a couple of his other early ones. Because like in Terminator and Conan, he was massive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this
But
started to help to start the
Mystery
workout
Universe.
craze. You know, in the 80s, you know, everyone was working out, pumping iron, and want to, you know, be either Stallone or Schwarzenegger, or you know,
Yeah,
be
and
one
then
of
they
those
took it
massive
too far.
guys.
And then they took it too far because God, look at bodybuilding. Oh my God.
pumping
How
iron. But
dare you, Body Bill? What is
Bro,
wrong with you?
If you're gonna go strong man, not bodybuilder. It's just-
bodybuilder.
it's a matter of core strength and actual like mobility.
but everyone was buying
Strong
weight
men can wipe
sets.
their ass. Bodybuilders
Everyone-
can.
Everyone, you know, but everyone wanted to emulate these guys. You know, drinking raw eggs and getting into shape, and you know,
Running the Rocky
running.
steps. I
Yeah, 'cause-
actually did that. I actually ran the Rocky
You ran it?
steps. Yeah, in 2015.
I've done it too,
When
buddy.
I was on my way to a Baltimore Metal Festival, we did a stop where we hung out in Philly for a day. And I'm like, I gotta run the Rocky steps. And of course I did that. I took a photo. and by the statue and everything. I was like, of course I had to do that. Oh, 70s. Speaking of which, hey, there he is. Hey, 70. Yeah.
There's a piece of trivia about the filming of that scene. So the scene like where he runs and he can't do it, and the scene where he runs and he does do it, and the music's all playing, he's all hype, were filmed 2.5 hours apart.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yep.
Because he barely makes it up, right? He can barely get there.
Yeah, he's dark. Like he barely makes it up, and it's dark. And then when he makes it up later, it's sun has risen. It's the same day.
Mm-hmm. He's like all heavy breathing, like running up, so like, and then all of a sudden the next time he's just like he is speed bulleting up there like that, like yeah, I got this, guys. I own this shit.
This is funny. They've only just broken their duck, so to speak, and now there's no more sex for weeks. They've only barely broken their virginity. That's it. It's off the table.
I went up those steps, but I didn't run.
Anyway. Yeah, I ambled up the steps.
You ambled. And they moved the statue used to be in the top of the
steps.
It's
down at the bottom, yeah.
No, they moved it now. Some people are mad at that, that they moved the statue from the top. Yeah, that's such a great spot in Philadelphia, though.
Yeah.
Did you have a cheese? Did you get a cheesesteak too while you were there?
I had 3 Philly chases in one day, and it was amazing.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah,
or that was just in between snacks.
Dinner. Oh, there were snacks in between. I actually had pizza.
You get some water ice.
What?
You get some of that Philly water ice.
Italian ice.
Oh, Italian ice. Yeah, I did. I also went to the bar that's based off of the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh, Sir Talksaw, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Here, let's plug you on the way out, and we'll Thanos punch you on the way out. So
we'll
plug your channel, sir. All right. So talk about channel while I plug you.
All right, I can do that. So my primary channel is Sir Talks a Lot, and I do comedy voiceovers. I interview other YouTube hosts and fans and content creators and all kinds of stuff like that. Talking with Talks a Lot. Nick's been on there a lot. You should go check out some replays. This coming Monday, we'll have Brahma Bull, another regular on the Yelling at Park Cars crew. And I'm writing another comedy rap song that's kind of a dig at, trans beauty pageants and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty fun. Yeah. I can't think of anything else right now. Kind of tired. So.
All right. Well, hey, Corey, thank you for coming on. This is his channel. I've been a guest on there a lot. It's a good time. But you know what? I'm going to have Thanos punch you on the way out. So it's been good, Corey, but you got to get the fuck out of here. And he's out. Now back to the show where we left off with where'd the screen go? Oh, right
here we go. Yep.
Sorry. Okay. There we go.
That's good. Yep.
So I saw this in the trivia under spoilers. It's basically the scene we were talking about where they're both in Rocky's apartment, and like the one like where everybody said it's like awkward or whatever. Where like he's like you don't have to kiss me if you don't want to and all that stuff. Basically, the way that scene was shot is originally was scripted to where they were supposed to kiss more, but Sylvester Stallone was sick. So she was hesitant to kiss him because she didn't want to get his
sexy.
Oh, that's right. I think
Sexy,
he brought that up on
makeouts.
like the commentary or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, people are getting mad because in real life, he didn't want to kiss.
Hold on, go back to that photo, Michael. Look at Rocky's eyes, and that's when he punched all that meat. Look at
I got real high and I'm like, I'm hungry, and I went down and got a steak, and then I'm like, that steak looks like it needs to be punched.
He looked like he beat a lot of meat, literally.
Look at that sweatshirt too, handwritten Italian Stallion.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Those clothes look so dirty. Like I wonder if that's like these are the do not shower clothes, and just put them on. Like I seriously think that's his because like I've heard of stories like bands when they're on tour they have their tour clothes. that they're all nasty because they go like every 5 stops without like a shower and laundry
shower. Yep.
Yeah, so they put these clothes in the bag and they throw the outfit on, their nasty, smelly outfit for when they go on stage, and they immediately get out of it after they're done with the show clothes, and that's basically his show clothes equivalent. So I can only imagine how gamey he smells and all that. And but God, look at his eyes. He's like, I just beat a lot of meat. You guys got to watch it too firsthand. It was a pretty special beating.
And this scene is great too because it's the first glimmer, that you think maybe Rocky might win, or the manager is watching, and saying, "Oh shit, this guy's for real." And Creed is like, sending flowers and schmoozing. And he's like, "Man, this guy is training hard. Look."
Oh yeah, and Apollo's just like, "Oh, it's no big deal. Like, oh, don't need to worry about that." Apollo wasn't taking it seriously because Apollo's getting cocky because he just thought, hey, I'm just giving this guy a shot at an opportunity at glory. He's trying to do the whole, no, I'm trying to give a man a chance of succeeding because he's trying to show, hey, listen, anyone can have an opportunity if you just got to take your shot and go for it, which is a very great, noble move on Apollo's part. But he also does take that to a little level of cockiness on his behalf, and he doesn't take him seriously because he sees him as the unknown underdog guy. So he doesn't think he needs to take this fight seriously, whereas for Rocky, this is his life. This is all eyes are on me because if Apollo wins, it's like, oh, it's just Apollo winning. Of course he's going. He's the known guy. We're not expecting for Rocky to do this.
You expect him to get knocked out in the first round, right?
Yeah, Creed does let the mask slip once when he's talking to the promoter, and he does say, "No, I intend to make money."
Oh,
so this is a stunt for Creed. He knows this is a stunt. This isn't. I mean, all that stuff about the land of America, the land of opportunity, America, the bicentennial. He's just going, hey, this will let us put on a better show. We'll sell more tickets and we'll make more money. So he's not taking Rocky in the least bit seriously.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny too because wasn't this fight supposed to be on January 1st?
I think I thought it was the day after. I was going to say Christmas Eve because you get to the scenes right here where we can hear the Christmas music playing at the house, and it was building up to the holiday. And of course, this is where we see the absolute worst of Paulie, where he goes absolutely nuts because he realizes the life he had is now crumbling, and in some ways, not really crumbling. It's just like, as you guys mentioned earlier,
his personal life and everything.
Yeah, his personal life's coming, and what he thought he wanted for Rocky, what he thought was best, wasn't actually best for him. So,
but the reason why it's kind of funny is because the way they talk it up should have been like 4th of July.
Well, I think they say, and the boxing announcer says "Happy New Year" to everyone. I think, or maybe.
Yeah, but they were saying like the nation's birthday and all that stuff.
Well, that's true, right? Yeah, that would be July. Yeah. Well,
yeah. So I mean, unless they were, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't around in '76, but I don't know. Did they start that celebration New Year's Day like it's the bicentennial coming up?
It was a big deal that whole year. I mean, they
could have been. You might be right. It might have been New Year's Eve. You might be right. Or New Year's Day.
It was a big deal the whole year.
I can't remember. I haven't watched the movie in like 4 or 5 years, but I've seen it a million times. I can't believe I can't remember.
It do be like that sometimes.
Yeah, there's a Christmas tree in the background, so we know it's December, January timeframe.
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was Thanksgiving too, right? Where the turkey gets thrown
out.
out.
There was a perfectly good turkey outside. I have no idea.
Hey,
at least
Mags.
smart enough.
January 1st, according to Google.
How you doing, Mags?
Yeah.
Nice to see you here.
He's smart enough. Paulie's at least smart enough to save a leg, though, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm already planning on cooking 3 turkeys this year. So,
that's
we'll smoke one.
Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of all year round. There's Klobby's perspective. Oh, dude, I remember when I saw this. I'm like, oh, I remember when I was a kid. I first saw this. I was like, oh man, Paulie's gonna get fucked up now. I was like, he crossed the line. You can see, like, he went from drunk, like loud motherfucker to now. Oh no, I'm sorry,
you
Rocky.
broke her
in a second. In a second, like that's like, it's kind of like that whole if you're drunk and all of a sudden like a cop comes up to you and all of a sudden you're immediately sober type of thing. That was what that was for Rocky going up to Paulie. Like, oh shit. Like now that moment you need a sober, that's when you did.
Crap thunder.
You're gonna eat lightning. You're gonna crop thunder.
I wish we could play that quote.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, I used to rewind my VCR and play that line over and over again because, well, of course I did that when I was a kid. And I would just laugh at that line because anything that had the words crap and eating it was, well, it was funny.
Still funny.
It's still, still funny.
And Rocky, good.
No, I was gonna say, how does someone write that type of line? Like, yeah, that's what we should say. That's a scripted line. We should say that. I truly believe Burgess said, "I'm gonna say this, and you're just gonna accept it." That's what I think. Go ahead, red shirt.
Yeah, sorry. No, I just realized one thing that Stallone did that is South Philly and Jersey as well is his standard greeting is "How you doing?" And when somebody from New Jersey or Philadelphia asks you how you doing, they don't really give a damn how you doing.
No,
it's just their way of saying hello.
It's hello. Yeah, we don't want to hear how you're doing.
How you been?
Right. Don't tell me how you doing. Okay, just how you doing.
So we needed a montage, and we got one.
The best
Boston
montage ever.
Similar thing. We're just, hey, how
this
are
is
you?
where
We
the
don't
music.
actually care. We just want to, like, you know.
Yeah. This is where the music starts, and the feeling of the movie. The feeling changes because we go from the apartment and the conflict with Paulie, and then he's running, and the music starts.
Oh, dude,
And
the one-hand push-ups.
The one-handed push-ups,
Oh,
and you start to feel. Yeah,
Keep
the
my
audience
wife's
starts to feel
name.
this.
Very effective. Yeah.
And then
And it's
that's
great
not a
that-
special. That's not CGI. That's all Stallone there too.
What's
so you
great
believe
about
it.
this movie is they kept all of this stuff back to well into the movie. You know,
Yes.
you think it's a boxing movie. Well, yeah, it's a boxing movie, but you don't get any real action until this point.
You get the little teaser action in the front of the movie,
Yeah.
like credits.
Right.
You know, there's that little fight. Then it's all drama. Then you get the fight at the end.
Yeah, it's a boxing drama, and it's
A
the
lot of
drama part
talking,
that makes
man.
it. Yeah.
They slip you a little something to look at early on, and they show you a little bit more, and then all of a sudden they take
There
off
were
the
no
dress.
boobies
They
in this
take off
movie.
the dress
Yeah.
completely at the end of the
right.
movie.
Well, I think Apollo's got a pretty good
Figurative.
chest on him. You know, I mean, there's kind of boobs.
Respectable. Respectable.
Nice
There weren't even
PG
any.
rating.
Hey, wait a minute. There weren't even any good-looking ring girls in this movie.
Yeah, there was one.
You get the
wasn't there?
Statue of Liberty.
Hey, this is all about the men in this movie.
That wasn't good.
This is all about the men. All about looking
It
at
is.
the head.
There
Yeah.
is, I don't think I'd ever know. I mean, we'd obviously seen a lot of montages in movies, but I don't think I'd ever remembered one till this point.
That music makes it a killer
so
montage
many.
too. It's the music. So
It's a motherfucking
Yep.
montage.
Never.
We need a montage.
Not one time do I
Even
see
Rocky
these
had
scenes
them
and
on.
not feel pumped up. Like I'm not a workout like a holic like some guys are. Which
No,
also,
you never.
yeah,
Come on.
because my workout's pizza. But I'll get motivated. I'll get motivated to eat
lifting
pizza,
pizzas.
listening
That's
to
right.
Rocky music. He's
Oh.
like, hey, guys,
have
you want to
you-
know what I do when I get pumped to eat pizza?
Nick,
I
sorry, I
listen
just
to
meant
Rocky
to say,
music.
do you know that they've started putting on pizza boxes? Remember to open the box before you eat the pizza.
yes,
This is have you
Really?
seen that?
I haven't
only
ordered
just-
pizza in a really long time, so that's surprising
Yeah.
me.
I think
I
Corey
only
had
just
tweeted that
noticed
out.
it. I thought,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
But we've officially hit, too stupid to live territory.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have.
Go eats the box.
Nick, how many,
the classic McDonald's line, on the coffee cup, caution, contents may be hot. I love the may.
That's right, me. So
I love the may. There's no guarantee here, folks, but they may be hot. This may be
Maybe.
hot coffee.
Well,
So
you
Nick,
make the iced coffee.
how
you
many-
know.
How many pizzas can you curl, Nick, at one time? Curling. If you're lifting pizzas, how many are you up to now? Right?
Oh well, the most I ever had of a pizza, I had around 33 slices of a square shaped stadium pizza, and that's a 60 slice pizza. So I had around 33 slices, and that was really good. Like seriously,
Nick's on a particular diet because you don't want to be too heavy if you're stage diving all the time. You know.
Hey, have you done any like the
Very
pizza,
true.
like the big pizza food challenges?
Pizza challenges are. I actually did one once at a place at this really weird ghetto town outside Chicago called Crestwood. They had this like eat this entire like deep dish pizza. And you win a shirt, and I just honestly I just wanted to brag that I ate the pizza. I let them keep the shirt. I'm like, you could keep the shirt. I just want to say I ate the pizza. And
there's a pizza place here in town. Like if you eat it's like a 30-inch pizza, you and a friend. If you eat the whole pizza, they give you the pizza for free, which is like a $50 pizza, and then you get a $50 gift card to come back and eat more pizza.
But the sign says no. Nick Weiser is not allowed to partake in this
he hasn't made it down
contest
to
yet.
India. They don't know. Because Randy Santel's been there. He's like a famous food challenge guy's like 1,200 food challenges or whatever.
All right, I gotta share a quick photo with you guys real quick. This photo is straight up glory days right here. Brace yourself. You see it? That's me at the Rocky Steps on the right there.
How drunk were you there, Nick?
This is about 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. I was probably fairly drunk.
Which one's the statue, Nick?
Which was the statue?
Yeah, I know. I finally found it. Well, my buddy Ben, who's on the other side of me, this was the day before we were at we went to our festival. We were like, oh, we should roll the Rocky Steps and take a photo with the statue. And yeah, it was awesome to say, like, we did this. Like, it's still like awesome to look at this. Like, this still feels like a very proud moment in my life. Like, holy crap, we ran the Rocky Steps.
Has to be done, doesn't it?
It does have to be done. It's one of the grandest moments of all time. Anyways, I'll let go of that. We'll continue on with the show. And Soul Assassin says in Texas, there's a pizza place called Big Lou's that sells 64-inch slices of pizza. Holy shit. I probably could not finish that, but I'd at least had fun doing that. I would have fun doing that, at least. For real.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Ooh.
Yep.
I
remember we went to, someday we'll go there, Nick, but to Pepe's Pizza in New Haven, and we ordered, there was 2 of us, we ordered like 4 large pies, and they're massive pies there. Look where we're taking them back to college with us. But the waitress looked at us like, 4 large pies? We're like, yes, we'd like 4 larges. We don't get good food at college.
I want pizza. That's it. I'm getting pizza tomorrow. I had like pizza bread cheese earlier on a grilled cheese sandwich I had, and it was really good, like really good. And Ryan Barth, oh God, I'll answer this real quickly. That's too conflicting for me. I'll let the other guys have quick answers. Dustin, you got an answer on this one?
I'm gonna go with so for me, Schwarzenegger was always a favorite. Stallone was second.
Okay, Mark.
Schwarzenegger, Commando, enough said.
Red shirt.
Schwarzenegger.
Tom.
I'm going to go against the grain here. I was more Stallone guy because not only is he an actor, he's a triple threat. He can direct and write.
Ooh, all right. There you go. Pope.
Schwarzenegger, but Stallone and Cobra comes close.
Oh, yeah. Cobra is freaking amazing. 70s.
Many years ago, I would have said Schwarzenegger. Today, I say Stallone.
All right. There you go. There you go, Brian.
Dementia's setting in, bud. Sorry to tell you.
No, I kind of get where he's coming from because as a kid, I liked Schwarzenegger more, but like the more adult I got, I started finding myself enjoying Stallone's stuff a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, there's the definite spot where Schwarzenegger movies just completely fell off a cliff, and I don't care anymore. But I could still go back and watch those old movies that made me love him the most. And I still get more out of like Schwarzenegger than I do out of Stallone.
Well, see, I have the opposite. See, like here's a great example. Schwarzenegger doesn't have a Rocky, right? Like he doesn't have a movie that's like this to where you can see.
That's true.
With his,
have you seen Jingle All the Way?
It's a hard one to argue. I see where you're going with that.
Because you're right, Tom. Because Schwarzenegger's not a writer and director, and he
doesn't have something where you have his raw soul on display like this with Sly.
Yeah.
Oh man!
And then the later Rocky movies are fantastic too. So that Rocky Balboa movie and
the guy who actually had good sequels.
Yeah, and I love the Rambo movie, which is called John Rambo. The 2 movies ago, that's a phenomenal
Dude,
movie.
that was one, what, 2007? That was so
Yeah,
damn good.
that's
The amount
underrated.
the amount of kills in that movie
Yes, Miss
was
Blue.
That might be another good toxic
insane.
movie to do.
Oh,
but
Dude,
trust
subject
me,
matter is
there
that one
will
scene
be
where he's just running the
there-
disc and just murdering everything in sight.
there will be a toxic. That's going to have to be like a Toxic Tuesday month. Like we'll do
Rambo.
like
Did you bring any
Rambo.
guns? No. Then
That
you
surprised
ain't changing nothing.
Yeah. But surprised me how good that movie. I went to the movie theater to watch. I'm like, another Rambo movie.
Me too, because the trailer didn't sell
Yeah.
it very well.
No, it did not.
Like the
But-
trailer made it look like, because I think the trailer had like let the bodies hit the floor and all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is it? That ain't Ram. And then you see the movie and you're just like, oh, this is some raw ass shit.
Yeah, it really had a
Because the
great
first thing you
message.
see is these fucking people in the fucking rice paddies getting blown up and shit. And you're like, whoa.
Oh God, this movie. Yeah,
Stop
Stop
or
or My Mom Will Shoot. Dude, that movie should have never existed. Hold on. Go back to that Rocky Marciano where
With
he
the,
makes it look like
with the
Santa
Santa Claus?
Claus.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering what that was. I think put Santa Claus.
It's the Santa look, man. No, it's,
Yeah.
it's
It's a Rocky Christmas.
It's a very Rocky Christmas featuring the Balboas, except I'm just the only Balboa. So Marciano will have to do for now. I'm on the Tempo magazine.
Yeah, not to be confused with Time Magazine in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Well, I was
Exactly.
looking at that. I'm like, did I just read that wrong?
We didn't have enough money to pay for the Time Magazine cover, so we made a Tempo.
Why they didn't go back and like Photoshop it in or some shit?
There was no Photoshop back. Oh, now I guess.
Now, yeah.
No Photoshop back then. Yeah.
George Lucas it.
Yeah.
Stallone, that's the ass of Philadelphia. That is an incredible comment. I fucking love that shit. And Mr. Grant Gregory for 366 says, I can't believe this movie is ripping off running up the stairs trope. So unoriginal. Hurry up and get monetized, you pizza loving whore. Well, dude, I'm like 45 subs away from there. Oh, see, look at that post. Look at that post. Go back to that.
Yep.
Marciano post. Tell me that that's not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's a painting, so.
I know, but still,
Somebody had to
Marciano
paint
pose, a Marciano pose. You better, it's just, I do love the Apollo Creed one though. He's just so happy.
And the cinematography is so great. Look at that scene where he's spinning around. Look at the empty arena. He's like, I'm going to be here fighting Creed tomorrow, and just everything in this movie is so well done. It's doesn't look like a B movie.
Trunks in the wrong color.
Can you imagine what that imagine just being in the mindset? You went from playing basically a basement of a of a training room equivalent to now playing an arena of a sold out crowd, and like the translation of that, it's like if you're like a band that's headlining a show to 300 people, but then the next day you find out you're opening for Iron Maiden to 50,000.
Yeah.
It's a wild it's like, whoa, this is a huge change. I'm not used to all this. So you have to take it all in, because it's one of those things you had to get in there early to just get a feel for your environmental surroundings, because it's so different compared to the small, more intimate settings that you're used to, where you can hear each and every individual person in more of a club setting, whereas the big venue, it's an echo and a chorus of all these wild people and very energized crowd. So I can't do it. And this is
Or
where
put it in baseball terms. Put it in baseball terms, it's like going from minor league ball, the first rung of minor league, single A, and all of a sudden you get a phone call that says, we want you to pitch in the World Series.
Yeah.
And you get to walk out into a stadium and you're going to be pitching in the third game of the World Series, and you've never pitched in anything bigger than, a sandlot before.
You got to pitch the bottom of the. You got to pitch the bottom of the ninth to hold the line, so the other team doesn't score, type of thing. I see what you're getting at, Richard. That's a really good comparison. Yeah, and I love how after he sees the arena settings, now the sold out starts to kick in, because he's not used to this setting.
Yeah.
This is way out of his element. Now you see that last minute nervousness get to him a little.
And shows what good actor Stallone is.
It's almost like a few years ago that hockey has a backup goaltender.
Well,
in
the
arenas.
E-Bug in the couple of last Dallas Stars game of the regular
Yeah.
season, the E-Bug had to come on for Anaheim. They lost their two other goalies. The guy he's always dreamed of playing an NHL game, and he finally got the chance for one period. And what's even funnier is the guy had no sight in one eye, and he still only let one goal in. It was like he got the biggest cheer of the night, and he was up on the screen getting save of the game, and it was fun.
Yeah, so that still can happen, or like
it's a dream.
A rock band, what was the drummer gets sick, or what was that? Is there a drummer in the house?
It's the Who
The Who,
famously
right?
did
Yeah.
that when Keith Moon collapsed at Cow Palace, and the 19-year-old kid came up and finished the gig for him.
Adrian!
Hey, Tim. And the Rangers are entering the third overtime. Against the Penguins. Yeah, I'm a big Rangers fan. They got robbed.
I still wish I could get a Shatan shirt.
Shatan?
Yeah, because it's spelled S-A-T-A-N.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I remember because I never really paid that much close attention to hockey, but I remember I was at a bar one night and they had hockey going, and I look up and I see Satan skate by, and I'm like, wait, what?
Satan.
Yeah, he used to play for the Bruins.
Yeah, he played for the Bruins, and then it was weird because we have like Indianapolis Ice, or we used to have the Indianapolis Ice as far as hockey goes, and I think for like in '79 we had Gretzky for a season, and then maybe '78 something like that, and then we had the Ice for years, and then they kind of went away. Now we've got it's called the Fuel, like a minor league hockey team, but we don't really have like a major league hockey team. But there's a bar that I went to all the time, and like basically the house hockey team was the Bruins, which is odd for center of middle of nowhere, Indiana.
Yeah.
Well,
the other thing to mention too is boxing was king of the world back then too. I mean, now it's MMA. Is boxing's really not what it is anymore.
Well,
but,
my parents, I mean, I was probably about 10, 12 years old at that, early 70s period. Boxing was king, and my parents would let me stay up late to watch.
Yeah.
Heavyweight bouts. There was no, you gotta go to bed. You can't watch this. It was, oh yeah, Ali's on.
I remember watching my grandfather. We'd watch, and they always had like Friday night fights or Saturday fights. And
Speaking of Ali, his rival shows up in this movie real soon.
Smoking Joe.
Yeah, Smoking Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was rooting for him when
dressed
I was
like a pimp.
Dude,
yes.
Frazier was looking classy, man. I love seeing it. I remember when I was a kid, I knew who Frazier was because my dad would show me stuff on Frazier. I'm like, oh, that's cool. They got Joe Frazier for the movie. Like, I thought that was cool because it really made it feel like you were in an actually invested in an actual boxing league. Like I was like, holy crap, they actually got Smoking Joe for the movie. That's so cool. Because once again, we say like, oh, Stallone brought in his past. His room is probably based off his actual room. It's like somewhere in there they somehow managed to be able to afford to get Joe Frazier, despite all things that didn't look like a lot of money spent. They got it together for Smoking Joe, because I can't imagine he wasn't a cheap price at the time. I mean, come on.
Well, this movie was. I followed the Ali fights in the '70s.
Yeah,
and I wanted to watch, but I couldn't watch. My parents wouldn't watch boxing, and I couldn't. They sure as hell weren't going to do a pay-per-view or anything like it, or take me anywhere to see it on closed circuit. But this is the movie that got me to start watching boxing. Yes, I had read about it, but I had never watched it, and I started watching boxing matches after this.
But I think Darius mentions he never saw anything on pay-per-view, and I think that kind of ruined boxing too, because you could only watch.
Yeah, it was.
Then it became all
Don
pay-per-view.
Don King loved the pay-per-view, and Don King definitely hurt the boxing league a lot, and pay-per-view did. Yeah, they started caring about the money. MMA took its spot. There has been some good boxing lately, though. There's this one guy who's out there named Tyson Fury. I would look into him. Yes. He had a great fight against Deontay Wilder last summer. I'll tell you, lately, like after Tyson, the heavyweight division wasn't as exciting. But I'll tell you, this fight between Fury and Wilder was insane. It went like 10 or 11 rounds too, and they were both knocking each other out consecutively too. So it was hit for hit, like it was a brawl amount fight, and I couldn't believe it because usually if you want a good boxing fight nowadays, you gotta look to like the smaller, faster guys. But Fury and Wilder, I'm telling you, watch that fight. Fury versus Wilder 3 in particular. It's good. I'm telling you, like, you'll be glad you watched it. Yeah, and
Yeah, 'cause-
Tim's right. Tyson Fury's a great personality too. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say, you didn't get to know who the fighters were. So like you watch, if you watch WWE or you watch, box, whatever you like. There's a story going on, and you get to know the fighters. And then when all went to pay per view, it's like, hey, you're gonna pay $80, and then the fight was like 2 minutes when Tyson would knock someone out, and there was no there was no minor league there, no boxers. And then back when Ali was so popular too, you had Joe Frazier and George Foreman, all these other fantastic boxers that were almost as good, if not it's debate, people debate it, but you're only as good as the opponents too, with those great and so Tyson was actually boring to watch, and I think they were unfortunately they really and it's a great sport to watch, but MMA's kind of filled that void I think that people are missing.
That's what limited Roy Jones Jr.'s career. There was no great middleweight or anybody above that, and he kept going up in weight trying to find a competitive boxing match. And people couldn't, he was too fast and too unorthodox. And so he's not considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. He should be, but he didn't have a Marvin Hagler or a Thomas Hearns or a Sugar Ray Leonard to box against.
Yeah, and it was those great rivalries that made the sport, I think.
And the
There was always
personalities.
two great rivals in each weight class many times,
You had
They
memorable personalities too. Like they all had their own like big thing. Like we obviously Ali had his pre-patriarchy thing. Then you had Frazier be the contrast of that. Then you had guys like Mike Tyson, who was the guy with the voice, who would just say, "Hey, I'm Mike Tyson, and I'm going to eat you." And then you rolled with that, and they were so memorable. They had great names. They had a great look. They obviously could fight, but they were equally showmen as much as they were athletes too. Like you were invested in that. And also, there's that mystique to them too, because this is before you had like the social media where you knew everything about their lives. Now, like you were like, "Ooh, what goes on with this guy when when the cameras are off?" There was that whole like mystery there. Which there's Joe Frazier.
Yep.
Sup. Dude, God, look at that
Great boxer,
that
great
green
boxer,
coat.
yep.
Oh, great boxer.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And literally, he's smoking
Joe.
that coat. Yeah, he's smoking that coat. So, no, it's just, man. And then that's something that WWE lost along the way, too. They lost, besides like the matches, but the personalities, because we were invested in the personalities as well, because we love seeing them like on the promos, like talking smack about each other. Like that got you hyped for the big fight. That
Roddy Piper, right?
Yeah.
I love watching Roddy Piper.
Dude. Right? Ric Flair, I swear he would drink like a gallon of coffee and then he'd go and do his promo. That's how I thought Ric Flair, that was my premonition to how he did it. And
best promos ever were Macho Man versus freaking Hulk Hogan, though. Those two would both freaking just go.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, though.
Oh, yeah,
like, don't get me wrong. Savage is good. And so Hogan's promo is good. But Warrior, I swear, like, Warrior would talk about summoning the eagles from the 10 realms of Asgard. And then spaceships will show up. And then the deer will hop along. And, like, he would say shit for, like, 20 minutes. You're like, where's he going with this? Okay, I'll keep listening anyways, because none of it makes sense, but you kept going with it anyways.
You don't even care where it started. You just want to see where it goes next.
Yeah, you didn't care if it made sense. Because I remember, like, I think Ric Flair talked about like cutting someone's eyes out. I was just like, oh my god, he really just said that. Oh man. Oh yeah. Oh, see, that's the thing. We're lacking a lot of that personality there. We loved seeing that because it was cool to invest in the fights, but you were attached to the persona. The persona really added so much more to the show. It really did, and it doesn't feel like half the show that once was. I know, like they really don't make them like they used to, and we're not saying that out of a get off my lawn argument. It's just. We don't have the charisma there. We don't have that excitingness that's there. Like you'll see some guys who show promise, but you'll have people who are probably from the past who don't give them the push that they deserve. And for all you know, we could be missing out on a great athlete, whether it's in boxing or in WWE. that we aren't seeing getting a push who deserve a push, and that's unfortunate because they keep looking to the past.
And Apollo's got that charisma in this movie too, right? He works because he's such a good opponent, good rival. If you don't have that charisma, if he's a boring guy, and he's actually bigger than Stallone, and he's more cut. He's the champ.
Shredded. He's shredded. He taunts him too. He's like, he's trying to push his buttons because he knows he's the champion. He knows he could fuck with Stallone and use that to his advantage because he also has the arena experience. He knows how to play to this crowd. Like this is his yard basically, and Rocky's just playing.
And then he gets knocked down right here in the first round. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, he's gonna win. Rocky's gonna win easy now, right?
Yeah. Well, it was a wake-up call. Let's put it that way.
He's like dancing around and not taking him seriously, and then he just knocked right on the freaking mat. He's like, "Oh shit! I actually might have to fight this guy."
Yeah, that was a wake-up call for him. Yeah.
And this is back when the fights would go 15 rounds. I think.
Yeah, they go what 9 rounds now?
10 rounds max.
Sometimes 2.
No, 12 rounds for a championship fight, 10 rounds for a regular fight, but they never go 15 anymore.
Yep.
Nope.
Well,
Yeah, and the punch Rocky threw that knocked Apollo down was a left hook that came from the second row. He reached so far behind him, it's like Helen Keller could have seen. Yeah, it was telegraphed to a ridiculous degree, but it fits because Apollo is so cocky. He's not even looking at Rocky when Rocky reaches around and brings the left hand around and just clocks him one. And it just fits.
Around it.
Yeah.
I'll say oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, just like I said, it was a wake up call. It was Creed finding out that, hey man, he may not be able to box, but this son of a bitch can punch.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because you see
Rocky
Rocky not only can he take a punch, but obviously Apollo's he knows how to play the boxing game. But when Rocky lands a hit, it puts Apollo in check. Like especially those gut punches, you could see those hits. Like, oh damn! Like it doesn't feel good. It's kind of like I'm jumping ahead here, but kind of reminds me of when Ivan Drago gets hit by Rocky. He's like he punches like he's made of iron. I mean, he's feeding that iron hit of the Balboa, man. That's what's going on.
And then here he says, he broke my nose. He's like, how does it look? It's an improvement.
It's an improvement.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the dialogue is great in this movie. And Rocky's a really witty guy, too, because he's got that, voice that comes across as maybe a dumb guy, but he's got all these great quips and there's all these great lines in there. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
And this is another one that's plausible. This is another bit that's plausible for boxing. Hit him in the ribs. Don't let him breathe. Going downstairs is a standard tactic for slowing down an opponent in a boxing match. Mm-hmm. So the choreography could have been a little bit better, and they could have practiced a little more so that it looked like they were, throwing punches that could land. But it's not a completely ridiculous script for the boxing match.
No.
As long as Rocky has a head made of concrete, basically.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I always, when I watched this, always thought, just how can anybody take this kind of punishment and live if it was real?
Well, you can't.
You can't. I mean, it's like you'd be beaten to death within 2 rounds of this,
That's like Homer in The Simpsons when Homer became a boxer and had his big heavyweight championship fight against Dredrick Tatum, who was obviously, that shows Mike Tyson. Homer went from playing the minor league fights, in the clubs, to moving up to straight to the heavyweight championship fight. Like Homer kept winning his fights because he kept taking hits, so that he wore the guys out, and then he would just basically push them down. And that's how Homer had all his bullshit. That's how Homer had all his bullshit went.
I will say though, you can. I've seen boxing matches where there was a lot of punches thrown and connected over the course of a number of rounds, but it was in the lighter divisions. I made the mistake of volunteering in high school when a demonstration team from the Army boxing team came to my high school. I made the mistake of volunteering to step onto a mat with the heavyweight. They had a heavyweight and a middleweight.
Ouch.
I wound up drawing the heavyweight, who's ostensibly the slower of the two boxers. And every time the gloves came below, the top of the gloves came down below my eyes so I could actually see him, he snapped his jab out and open-handed slapped me, backhanded me on the forehead. All that was a reminder, get your gloves up. He wasn't actually jabbing at my head. He was slapping me with his fingers in the glove.
Like if this had been a fight, you'd be dead right now, but or not.
I got to tell you, my sinuses, I was bleeding from my sinuses for 6 hours.
Ouch.
That was the cocaine.
From being backhanded about a half a dozen times by a heavyweight. I'm telling you, I don't care whether it's in this movie or it's in an actual boxing match. When a heavyweight gets hit by another heavyweight, it hurts. It does damage.
Of course.
Look at this comment here from RC. Frazier was a surgeon in the ring. He cracked more ribs than a barbecue stand. Wow.
Good one.
That is
Yeah.
a
Well
really
played,
good
sir. Well played.
Yeah. Oh, that was perfect. And
That was a perfect.
Oh,
Sorry, that was the perfect look there. Yeah.
No, that was perfect.
That's
Oh
Captain
my
Marvel.
God, Thanos! What did Thanos do to Apollo? Magic Tech Mags for $5. Yo, Adrian! Thank you, Mags, for the $5. Poor Apollo.
That was perfect. Perfect timing.
It was.
Thanos beat Brie Larson so hard she race swapped.
Oh my God. What's up, Griff there? I see that in the chat, man. Seriously, that I swear that was not meant to be a translation. That just typed out very well. Oh damn.
Well, I was watching, as mentioned before the show, watching a video like the making of Rocky, and there's a ton of YouTube videos out there you could look at. And they actually shot 8mm film to try to get the boxing to be more realistic, as the director was saying. He went and tried to watch all the boxing movies. He's like, oh, they're all the fights look like garbage. So, I mean, as much as unrealistic as this movie looks, you know, the damage and, you know, some of the punches obviously missing, but you're really into it when you're watching. It's almost like you're watching, you know, wrestling where as a kid, you don't know that it's not real, but you still
Well, it got to a point
you
that,
get into it.
That Sly said he actually had to literally sit down and write out every punch.
Yep. Yeah, they choreographed it like a dance routine, and he's actually credited as the fight choreographer in this. So yeah, originally they went out there, and the director was saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this, you do this," and it was a disaster, it was a total mess. So he's like, "Go home," like Tom said, and you know, write every uppercut, punch, everything down. And there's a 8mm footage you could see where they're practicing and you know, trying to get everything right. And they said, you know, there's no videotape back then, but that helped them to, you know, practice to try to make the fight at least look decent.
Now, talking of setting up the fight, though, if I remember correctly, Sylvester Stallone is not an extremely tall man.
He's not.
No, he's like 5'8".
Right. So the problem was that most heavyweights then and certainly now are more like 6 foot plus. And so part of the problem of finding the actor to play Apollo was somebody who looked muscular enough and heavy enough to be a believable heavyweight against Rocky, but not tower over him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I can't remember this, but if someone could refresh me, did Homer's robe in The Simpsons actually say opponent on it?
It did at first. I know that for sure. Yeah.
Which, it's funny you guys bring up the Carl Weathers height too, because in Rocky IV you then have Dolph Lundgren, who's like 6'5".
I know.
Oh my God! Yeah. He is a towering presence over
Where are
Rocky.
you?
I
I
must
cannot
break
see
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you are down there.
And then, of course, we get the great. Was it Rocky 3? We get Hulk Hogan in that great exhibition.
That was Rocky
right?
Mr. T.
Was
Hulk
Rocky
Hogan
IV?
and Mr. T. Because
Mr. T
it was a
was
boxer
free.
versus a wrestler.
I love that.
Boxer,
And he
that's
picks
a
him up.
great-
You're right.
Yeah. He's like, he's gonna kill you.
Oh, no,
He's like, cut my gloves off. Yeah. Cut the gloves. Yeah. And this is here. Cut the gloves here. Cut. I didn't clip it because
Cut me, Mick.
Cut me, Mick.
Dude, those
that's
actually
everyone
looked
talked
really
about
good.
that scene. Everyone talked about that scene when it was when they saw this movie.
So something I don't know if anybody ever noticed, but during the
nothing.
big main fight scene, all the police officers in the stadium are Los Angeles Police Department.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
Instead of Philadelphia police. They probably didn't have the money to pay for costuming outside of Los Angeles.
Right.
That's probably what they had for wardrobe.
And why is Rocky's crew in pink too? I'm just noticing that.
Because they're very sensitive people.
Right?
What have you got against pink?
I have a theory on that.
That might be a Homer. Pink? Pink!
It would have been a rainbow if they made it now. They'd be wearing rainbows with a unicorn on the back.
Tom, what's your theory on that?
They wanted red, and it was dyed, but they only got it.
No time to make our money to make any more.
Yeah. Refund, yeah.
Made for under $1 million, eh? Incredible.
And or they could only find pink sweaters.
Yeah.
How much does this movie cost to make?
Well, I don't know. I heard it
$4.
was under $1 million, but
Joe Frazier charitable.
Actually, I don't think it
appearance.
was $1 million. I don't think it costs that much.
no, it was under $1 million. I
I was
think.
gonna say, yeah, I think it was like 275,000. I think it was.
Yeah, and they only made 200 million. You know.
Oh yeah, budget 960.
Oh, okay, so it was
960,000.
960. Okay, so
Yeah,
Pretty
equivalent to
money.
5 million today, and it, box office was 225 million.
It's just
Million,
incredible,
equivalent to
isn't it?
1 billion today. So could you imagine that hit? Wow.
I can imagine
From
the studio executives patting
5
themselves on the back after that one. Yeah.
Well, that's why there's like 19 of them.
yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
coming up, Bongo's review of Rocky 5,000.
5,000. Yeah.
Wasn't it in which Schwarzenegger film did they parody that when he's it was Twins, wasn't it? He goes past the video store and there's Rocky 500 or something, and it's Stallone
Yeah.
looks like he's 900 years old, like a little old man. Something like that. I can't remember which movie it was. But
Are you talking about Escape Plan?
Was
Stallone and
it would have been
Schwarzenegger
funnier.
Escape Plan?
yeah.
It would have been funnier if it were if Sylvester Stallone had walked past that in Demolition Man.
Well, that would be funny. Yeah.
Oh, there was something. Wasn't there
There was a
reference
reference
in
in
Demolition Man?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah.
There was some kind of Schwarzenegger reference or something.
Yeah.
They were
Oh, he
always
was
doing
president.
that
He
to
was
each other.
president. What, this is
President
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger.
President
Schwarzenegger,
Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Look at derpy face right there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of derpy faces in this crowd.
Crowd goes wild. Yeah.
I wonder what like a fight like this would cost, like in that time frame, like how big this fight would have been. Like, what would like the ticket price have been?
$5 for the heavyweight championship fight.
I mean, probably because I know like back in like the late '60s, like you could have seen like Jimi Hendrix for like $4.75.
Man, imagine
Concerts-
that.
Concerts in the 80s are about $20 whenever I go to a concert.
First gig I went to in 1977 was £3, I think. £3. So
That was
No one understands.
$137 back then.
it was. It weighed £3. It was pure metal.
The Rangers just lost. I'm not happy. Oh.
Oh,
no.
I think it was
They
an
got
ex-Stars
robbed.
player. I think it was an ex-Stars player scored the winner as well, Cogliano.
Damn you, Reg. 70s.
And-
You star.
All right.
I'm not saying I'm watching the Stars game at the same time as this show is on, of course. But
All right, we're getting to that point where I've had people like get it. We talked about this before we started the show, where people didn't get it straight on the actual verdict of the fight. I know you guys saw it, but some are like, oh, was it like the Rock actually win? Because there was the whole cheery music that like it felt like there was like a sense of victory, but it was a split decision where they still handed it to Apollo. And
Yes.
they don't even, I love how Rocky doesn't care about saying anything on the mic. He just I did. That's all that matters.
You would too. He just got beaten to absolute retardation on the
can't even see anything.
Yeah. but the thing is that again,
Last
going back to the real life story that inspired this script, Chuck Wepner, he didn't go the distance by seconds. The fight was stopped just before the bell in the 15th round. So the guy interviewing him says, "You went the distance. How do you feel?" Which is an achievement in and of itself.
Oh, of course.
I mean, nobody. He was such an underdog that Vegas wasn't. Nobody was betting he was going to make it out of the third round in the movie. So for him to go 15 is just nobody could believe it
that day.
Yeah,
if anybody bet for him.
Yeah, if anybody bet that he'd go if they bet he'd go the distance, they retired the next day.
Well, my question, so like on a split decision, I don't know much about boxing. So say the winner's purse was 150K in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it was a split decision and they gave it to Apollo, then he gets the full 150 purse? And then like
I was
Rocky
getting the
would get
150 either way, whatever happened.
Each fighter will get their purse either way. The only thing on a split decision is that it was not unanimous. There are 3 judges in every boxing match. They each have their own scorecard, and they score every round according to a very weird system. And then they add up the scores in each round for each fighter. They come up with a score, and the one with the higher score is the winner on that judge's card. So a split decision is merely a 2-1 decision on who won.
Mm-hmm.
It's as close as it gets, except for an actual out-and-out tie.
Mm-hmm.
So
if all 3 judges gave them all the same scores or whatever.
Right. If all 3 judges give the same score, it's even, or they add up. On the 3 judges' cards, if each fighter has a score that adds up from 3 judges that's equal to the other fighter's score from 3 judges, that's a tie.
Mm-hmm.
A split decision is just that it's a majority decision. That 2 of the refs, or 2 of the judges, judge the fight to be a victory, in this case, for Apollo Creed. So that's the result of the fight. And then the paydays are as promised.
Yeah, and then Rocky's making a ton of money, once the fight was this close. I found a quote from Wepner. So he said after he knocked down Muhammad Ali in the 9th round, he said he went to his manager, said, "Al, start the car. We're going to the bank. We're millionaires." To this, Wepner's manager replied, "You better turn around. He's getting up and he looks pissed off."
Well, there was a thing in the spoilers that in that fight in the 9th round, it wasn't that he so much knocked him down as so much as like he stepped on his foot and he fell backwards.
That's what Ali said, that he stepped on his foot. But either way, he pissed off. It was pissed off, and they said Ali locked him down. 19 seconds left in the 5th round. The referee counted to 7 before in a TKO, and Wepner was far behind in the scorecards. And then it says, after the Ali Wepner bout, Stallone wrote the script for Rocky, which was released, as we know, in 76.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, for years after Rocky was released, Stallone denied that Wepner provided the inspiration for the movie, though he eventually admitted that it was so.
Yeah, it'd be hard. That was a tough sell.
Yeah,
Come on.
Wow.
But, yeah.
And then that was the movie. Just
Yeah,
like that.
timing.
I know, right? That was very, very, very good time. Is there a show after the show after the show?
I don't know, Paulie.
Yo,
when are you
Adrian.
gonna talk about The Offer.
Oh, I'm actually going to watch that tonight
Oh,
before I
it's
pass
good.
out. I want to talk about that show, Tom. If you do like a panel for that, let me know. Maybe I'll have to get one going because I want to watch that show.
Which show is this?
The Offer.
Oh, about the making of The Godfather?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that yet.
So allegedly there's a coffee shop in San Francisco where like a majority of the screenplay of The Godfather was written.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there, and when I was there, they were like, "Oh yeah, Francis Ford Coppola sat back here," and I mean, it was like you could sit there or whatever. It wasn't like blocked off or nothing, but had some espresso there and stuff. And I was like, "That's really cool." But like, whenever like someone's going through and they're like, "This is where this happened," you're like, "Sure," you know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't really necessarily believe it. Like when someone said like we were outside of Danzig's house. This is where Danzig lives, and then like years later, I saw photos of him leaving that house. I'm like, oh shit, it really was his house.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's great.
Because like you don't believe it's like 2 a.m. You just left the bar. Like I don't know why in LA the bars close at 2, which was dumb. But like we're like outside and like singing and being loud. I'm just like surprising to open the windows and go, get the hell out of here. But he's probably at the Rainbow Room.
Hey, get the hell out of here, you know.
He's probably afraid to get knocked out by another fan.
Dude, I'm not that big.
Oh, that's what she said. I had to. You segued into that one. It's okay. We talk about Drew all the time and how Drew is just so huge. And well, sometimes some men are just so huge like Drew. If you're out there, you're so huge you take up my entire apartment. And that's just the facts of life. You nasty man. All right. Anyways, I see some scores in the chat. I see Vince Womack here says 7.5, Tox 3. Grifter says a 9 for me. Zen Zoltan says it's a 9 out of 10. Toxicity is a 6. And I think, and then RC, Toxicity 6. Overall, a 10. Woo, woo! 10 out of 10 right there. 70s. Why don't you be the lead off of scores?
Cool. Well, first of all, I would like to say that back in the day, believe it or not, I didn't see Rocky in 1977. It was first released in Britain. I saw it in 79 on a double bill with Rocky 2.
Mhm.
So I watched them back
Nice.
to back, first time ever, and that was just an awesome evening. Absolutely brilliant evening. It's definitely an all-time classic for me. I love this movie. It's a beautiful movie. It's a strange thing to say about a boxing movie. It's a beautiful movie. Toxicity, I don't think it's that toxic. It's like
No.
2, you know?
Yeah, I'd say you get to see big sweaty men, you know, that gets like,
yeah.
I'd say, well, I know that scene with Paulie. I'd say, so I get,
Yeah, there's a 2.5 to. It's not that toxic. There's nothing there you wouldn't see in many other genres or films. But as a score, 10 out of 10.
all right,
Absolutely love
killer.
it. Yeah.
Awesome. Red shirt.
I'm gonna go with that '70s rock fan. The toxicity isn't really there, other than Paulie and the cynicism of Apollo Creed, which ends rather abruptly in the first round of the fight when he gets clocked. So I'd give it a 3. As far as the movie goes, and I watched it last night again and was, absolutely sucked right back into it. So I got to give it a 9.5. A couple of issues with the boxing where if they'd hired a boxer to choreograph it, it might have been even better than Stallone's choreography. But that's about the only complaint I can come up with. It just misses the mark for a 10 for me. But it started an entire dynasty of films, so it was popular. It resonated with people. It's a film that has stood the test of time.
All
So
right.
9.5 for that and 3. Yeah.
Nicely said. Mark.
Yep. So I think I saw this probably in the 80s, I'm guessing, on VHS, because I was pretty young when this came out. But, I remember hearing about it when it came out, and then you're finally able to see the movie. And it's just, it's the ultimate boxing movie. I think, there's some, of course, some other great boxing films out there. But I think this is the one that's the most fun to watch. It makes you want to work out, get you going. And then, like 70 said, it is a beautiful, it is a beautifully shot movie. The music is fantastic. The soundtrack, it really adds to that emotion. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So without that, I think all the pieces came together and clicked. Meredith is great as Mickey, and all the supporting actors. Paulie is great. So there's no weak legs in this movie. I mean, even the dog and the turtles are awesome, right? So everything just clicked, and it's one of those, it's movie magic, and that's why it made so much money. I think it won Best Picture, Best Director, and I think it won other Academy Award. And I watch it again, tonight, doing that slideshow, and it doesn't age, right? It doesn't age poorly. You still love watching the movie, and it makes you want to cheer for the underdog. It's the true American story. This guy, came from nothing, that hard scrabble neighborhood in South Philly, and he's got a chance, and he makes most of it. And then, going forward, you don't know it when this first movie came out, but it's such a great series of movies that and now you're gonna have a third Creed film, so you've even got three Creed movies. So it's great legacy, and I picked Schwarzenegger maybe as a more favorite actor, but I got to hand it to Stallone too. Tom's everyone had good points too, where he's a writer, director, he's the real deal. And people, maybe make fun of him a little bit, or he sounds like a stupid guy. The guy's a genius, and the other thing I want to mention, it reminds me a little bit of Good Will Hunting too. When you think of that, the Damon and when they wrote that movie and insisted that they star in it too. So that's how smart was that to insist like this is gonna be my big break. This is my baby. I want to star in the movie, and that launched his career, and we're all better off for it. What if he didn't star in this movie? We wouldn't have gotten maybe all those great other movies and no Rambo either. So I'd give it a 9.8. And Toxic, yeah, it's a 2. Just the neighborhood's toxic, but you got he's a he's a hitman for the, well, not a hitman, but a leg breaker for the mafia. But other than that, he's a pretty charming guy, as long as you don't owe any money to his boss. So yeah, I just love this movie.
Mr. Brian Yoder says, 2 guys only charged with assert dominance. The lead rescues the damsel from a life of loneliness in a pet store. Not very toxic, really. Ooh, Brian begs to differ. I like that.
I'm by today's standards.
I'm kind of have to agree with Brian here on that one. But
the thing about Creed 3 is we're hearing that Stallone's not in it.
Yeah, he's not in it.
But I hope, and this is just my little fan hope, is that he's not in it, but we have a line where, Rocky's visiting Russia.
Oh.
Setting up him in a movie with Drago and Drago's son, and him helping Drago to train his son. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Well, they probably won't with the current climate.
No,
unfortunately, that's the shitty part. But
that's a good point.
But that would have been like a perfect setup for that, because I don't think they're going to kill him off screen or anything like that. But you can't really have him in the third film and have him die, because then that's too much like Mickey. You're like that to me would be like just too much. And if they have him die off screen, I'll be really pissed.
That'd be really bad. Yeah, you did it bad enough. They did it to Admiral Akbar. Yeah, have him die off screen. You can't do that to Rocky.
You can't do that. Yeah, bad enough that they did to Akbar. Don't do it to Rocky as well. All right, Tom.
The movie is a 10 out of 10. As far as toxicity, I mean, I guess there's several levels to it. I mean, when the movie first came out, I wouldn't necessarily consider it toxic per se. It's very tame in that respect. Paulie's probably the most toxic thing in the movie, and next to Apollo. And aside from that, so back when it first came out, not at all. But now, I mean, the movie's considered like a guy's film, to the point where it's like, almost a Chad type film, it's like, it's so based and whatever, and it's like seen as probably a very conservative film. So I have to say its toxicity level now is definitely in the upper percentile, probably like in the 8 range, 7-8 range. But no, as a film overall, it's a tight film. A great story, great characters, almost a damn near perfect film. So you got to give it a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's just one of those movies that screams the 70s. God, I can't say enough great things about it. So, I mean, and I love all the sequels too. I mean, for various reasons, but it's one of the most consistent franchises, right? Like
a great franchise. We get so much of a lot of the characters have their stories progress, whether they're the fighters or the trainers, or they're just family to any of them. They all have their part in the story. It's really cool, and it flows very naturally, and it's nice to actually see like the story actually matters too. Like we don't have to worry about something filled with retcons and easy way outs. Like there's like when someone goes, that's it. Like, and then
no, there's no easy way out, Nick.
There's no shortcut home.
No shortcut home.
Damn it, Tom. It's a burning heart, dude. It's a burning heart.
It takes a burning heart to go the distance, and the eye of the tiger, of course.
Going for speed?
Oh, yeah. Anyways, well said, Tom. Dustin.
Well, I don't think there's anything I can say that hasn't already been said, but I would think that I agree with the toxicity level about 2, maybe even 1. Because I mean, I just watched this movie before the stream, and I'm watching it, and I'm like waiting for it to get toxic. I was like waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm like, come on, this is just a good movie. I'm like, it is very slow. It's a slow movie. I think pacing compared to how pacing of movies is now is very slow. But I would still give the movie a 9, and toxicity would be maybe like a 1.5.
1.5. The man
Is the movie even that much over 90 minutes? I don't think it is it?
I mean, it's 2 hours.
Is it
2
2 hours?
Yeah.
I always thought the first one was like 90 minutes for some reason.
I think it's 2 hours, but I mean, there's like the pacing seems kind of slow. Like, I mean, like the scene where they're walking around the
maybe
ice
like the
rink and
day
stuff, but-
standards, but like
Yeah,
it feels
I
like
mean-
for me, for a 70s film, it clips right along.
Yeah, you're probably right. I guess maybe I'm not thinking of a lot of 70s movies.
No, you're right in the pacing
that,
of it
you know,
by
where
today's
everybody's wearing their
standards,
clothes.
definitely. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you there.
Oh
dude.
no, I'm fine. I don't care. I love everybody always seems to have better stuff to say than me. So
Not true.
Nonsense.
Don't you do that.
That's not
no,
true.
I'm not trying to be like, oh, woe is me, but I mean, like,
No, I know
actually,
you.
I enjoy being on the panel, and I'm like, you know, and I sit here and I love what everybody has to say, and I'm just like, I'm like, and it's like, you know, you have what you want to say, and it's like, man, they're saying it better than me. No,
No, dude,
because I'm a fan of everybody here, so you know.
So romantic. I love it. Don't ever change, Justin. We love you.
I don't think I could.
Good. True. Don't.
I'm old and shit. I'm like kind of stuck in my ways.
Well, he can't change. He can't see below his beard to change his pants.
I'm wearing shorts, okay?
As far as you know.
TMI, Justin. TMI.
Don't make Dustin stand up, man.
That is a glorious beard, though. I could never see anything I was doing, though. I'd be just like, I can't see. I can't tie my shoes. I can't see them.
That's why I wear slip-ons, dude.
It works.
He slips on. I love it.
I get the rubber laces so I can slip on all my shoes. Well, like I've already switched to flip-flops for the season, so
I love it.
Flip flops till it snows, right?
It's like 60. It's like been like in the low 60 or the mid to high 60s or whatever. So I've been wearing like shorts and flip-flops and a hoodie.
I'll send some of that our way. Holy crap! It's been 40s and 50s.
Oh man,
Well,
I was
he's
outside.
not far from us, Tom. He's in Indiana.
Yeah,
we're all connected. Me, Tom, and Dustin. We're all within our.
Oh yeah, you're not that far away then.
Yeah.
I won't be on next
New
week's show
Englander.
because I'll be at Deftones.
Oh man.
I was a crazy New Englander. I went out in the snow in flip flops.
Yeah, done there, done that.
All right. Pope Metallicus the first. Why don't you have your piece on this?
You know, like the movie itself, I'd give like an 8.8. It's, you know, solid, absolutely classic movie that everyone should at least see, if not own.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, toxicity, I got to go with the rest of the guys here and go like a 3 because there's really not that much in there that's too over the top. I mean, you have a couple of scenes with Paulie and, you know, just the stuff going on in the neighborhood. But other than that, it's actually a pretty wholesome movie with a good message.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it quite a bit.
All right. Killer. Simple as that. All right. I got a few other scores here I'm going to read because a few others had them and I did not get to them. And let's see here. I think I did RC. If not, I'm doing it again. Toxicity 6 overall 10. Dr. Dragon straight 9. Rob Altus Tox 9 overall 10. Awesome 1. Pizza 6 at Pizza overall 10. Eternal Vigilance 9 out of 10. One of the classics that will never be surpassed. Soul Assassin 9 for Toxicity overall 8+ points for that outfit Apollo wore before the match. Drew like the Statue of Liberty's pimp. True. And Rudy. Movies 10 out of 10 Yo Adrian. Toxicity 5 out of 10 Raging Stalloners. I love that. I love that. Nice. Stalloners. Rudy, I love that kind of Mags here. 8 out of 10. The fighting, the Yo Adrian, the love story. All right, there's that. And I think that's all our score. And Mr. Brian here. You crazy man. What did you do? Mr. Brian for $10 says you guys are using the rational toxicity scale. If you play the Berkeley Feminist Gender Studies toxicity scales, it scores much higher. Well, thank you for the $10. And yes, you are correct.
Or like a 13 out of 10.
Yeah, if you buy it by that logic, yeah, we skyrocket to like 12, 13, 15. So still, thank you for $10. You guys have been awesome and generous with the donations. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be nice and quick and swift. Fantastic movie. 9.5. You guys have the soundtrack for me is everything. I'm in love with the soundtrack. Like there'll be times where like, I put on Rocky just because like I get up in the morning and I'm like, I gotta put on Rocky music because Rocky works out to Rocky music. And once again, the most underappreciated element is the incredible supporting cast that doesn't get enough love. So, and of course, we all know it's as obvious as the sky being blue, but so many great quotes going on here too. And the story flows effortlessly, and it doesn't have the ending that you expect. Because when people think of like a movie with a upbringing ending, they think, "Oh, it's gonna be the underdog fight where he somehow wins." No, he doesn't win. It's not that. He has to actually have to fight back in the sequel to get to that point. So that makes a nice unexpected ending. So it's like I guess you could say the good way, if you want, of subverting expectations, or a creative way, for lack of a better choice of words.
He would have won today, right? If they did the movie today, would have won.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
bullshit. Ain't no way a white man could beat a black man today.
Well, yeah, but Rocky would be black.
No, I'm gonna push
not
back.
unless he's trans.
I'm gonna push back against the panel, the entire panel. So it's gonna be 6 dudes on 1 dude.
Can you rephrase that, please, Nick?
That sounds kind of gay.
Never say that to me again, Nick.
It's already past tense. It can't be taken.
Do you
back.
like Gladiator films?
Oh,
Did you say
Richard say
past
that.
tit?
Richard say
That's
that
way
because
past
he's the
tit.
one in the middle. That's why Richard say that. But anyways, 6 dudes on 1. I'm gonna have to go with a 3 out of 10. No, sorry, 3.5 out of 10 for toxicity. The neighborhood's the hood, man. It is absolute hood. You got the mafia running. You got obviously Paulie is an absolutely crazy man who obviously like he has his goodness to him, but you see what happens when he lets a little too loose. And you also got Apollo Creed has his moments too, and also Rocky's he's an awkward guy who's just full of muscly, and same with Apollo Creed. Like they're big sweaty men who are shredded and they're fighting.
And love cuddling in the ring.
They love like hey, get over here. Give me another hug. So I'm gonna go for the 3.5. We got, and yes, Zan Zoltan, the point was not to win. You're right. However, most people don't see it that way nowadays. It's the idea that he actually lasted in the ring. You're right. It was to prove he could still do it. Yes. To prove everyone else that they were wrong. Yes. No, you get it. And most of us in the chat, if not all of us, do. It's just a lot of the world doesn't understand that on a different scale nowadays. But anyways, I want to leave up to the chat. This is gonna maybe cause a little bit of a split decision on what they want. Do we continue further into a sequel, or do we do a certain other flick that I've been looking at doing for a while now? And I'm gonna post this one into the private chat. So
what are our choices? Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, eventually we got to do Rocky 2 at some point, I guess.
Yeah. Now, what do you private chat? Yeah. So far, RC wants Rocky 2. Okay.
Do you know what next week is yet?
Well, I posted in the private chat what one of the two, but Darius wants it. Okay, so that's 2 now that want it. And then Soul Assassin wants a Rocky month. So
there's so many of them, you almost have to kind of spread them out.
Well, I wouldn't do like all of them. I probably would honestly like
There is no Rocky 5, so I wouldn't even bother.
Well, Rocky
And
1
then
and 2
Zoltan
kind of.
wants Rocky Month as well. Oh boy, we might and in Richards, I think
Rocky
we might.
5 still matters.
Well, it does
It
matter, and
does,
sorry, even
it
if you don't like
does.
it, there is important continuity elements that
It's
do
okay.
matter in it. So, I do like the fight between him and Tommy Rogers or Tommy Morrison. Sorry, I can't believe I call him the
Tommy
singer from
Gunn.
Between the Buried and Me. What the fuck was I doing? Anyways, you know what? Maybe, and then Vince is like, I take whatever you give. Ooh. Man, that sounds like a promise.
Well, I'm hoping that this Rocky 4 would do, because I wasn't a big fan of that recut so much as I was hoping that would be successful. So maybe Stallone would go back to Rocky 5, but I don't know if he will because Albison directed that one. Because there is supposedly a longer cut that we never got to see that is a little bit better. From what I remember hearing.
You didn't like the new cut of 4? I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't care for it as much. It didn't seem to really bring anything new to the table, and I missed all the stuff they took out. So
I need to rewatch it. I liked it. So,
I mean, I'd like to
different.
see somebody who's never seen Rocky 4 before watch it and tell me if it makes sense to them, because it almost feels like one of those movies where you have to have seen the original version to still understand it, because some of the stuff they pull
the way
out,
they cut it,
it makes me feel like you're missing some things. Like I was trying to watch it from that perspective, because it does feel almost like a companion piece, not so much a. Because there's only like 3 or 4 scenes that are really that different outside of they're just cut differently, and they cut out all of Paulie's robot stuff and all that stuff. So so that you're missing like most of Paulie's scenes and all that. So
all right, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll do 2 through 5, but we're gonna break it up a little bit. But next week we're gonna do 2, and then we're gonna do another flick, and then skip over, then Rocky, another Rocky. So I won't say what the ones after Rocky 2 is, but next week we're gonna do Rocky 2, and then the one in the private chat, guys, we'll give away next week. That's gonna be fun too.
Yeah, because 1 and 2 kind of go together.
Yeah, they are like a puzzle piece. That's why I feel like I can't.
They all kind of are until you get to the latter ones. Yeah,
that's true. But
I feel like
1 and 2.
I feel like I can't separate these two.
Well, it is the rematch. It is the rematch.
Yeah, and that's why it feels so connected. I'm thinking
I was going to go a completely different suggestion. But that's just me.
Well, what is
I thought there wasn't going to be a rematch.
It's a huge belt. I don't want a rematch. I'm feeling a huge bell boner coming.
A bell boner, I like.
Well, I feel like the phrase bell boner is going to become a thing around here.
What do you got, Tom? I'm open your suggestions.
Well, part of me, like, I like the idea of Rocky 2, but I don't know, like what most people would say, like if we did like Karate Kid, since it's kind of the stepbrother or whatever to Rocky. Otherwise, I was thinking more like.
I do want to do Karate Kid for a Toxic. I do, actually. I just haven't figured out where and when I want to place that one. I do want to do Karate Kid, though, because
they do fit together. That's a great point, Tom.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of
If you wanted a really good toxic boxing movie, you would do Raging Bull, because that's
true.
That's another one too.
Way
Yeah,
more
Raging
toxic.
Bull.
You know, that's a good one too, and I just watched that.
Yeah, and it's brutal. I mean, not just in the fighting, outside the ring, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Well, we got some very conflicting ideas, so maybe what we could do is
Rocky 2 next.
Yeah.
Then
do
again,
Rocky
you
2
already had
next.
the one you called, so like,
Yeah.
But
Well, it's not a
maybe-
democracy here. Come on, Nixon.
No, it's a constitutional republic.
Command decision time, Nick.
No, Rocky 2 for next week. However, we should definitely do Karate Kid and then that one other one for the following. So there you go, guys. You got a little bit of a heads
a
up.
plan.
Rocky 2.
you can always
Karate
save
Kid.
Karate Kid for just before Cobra Kai starts again too.
Oh yeah, true. Time it out with the show.
Cobra Kai.
All right, Rocky 2 next week. We're gonna plug in the thing.
When are we going to do RoboCop?
Oh, it's coming. I have a spot for that. Sooner than you think, actually. Just sooner than you think. Go ahead, Richard.
Thanks. Thank you as always, Nick. It's always a pleasure to be on Toxic Tuesday with all of everybody who comes here, and the chat, which is fantastic. Great people. The chat's been going on fire with this. They've had their own conversations and all of that, which is great, given their ratings. I'm hoping that Matt will be up to doing an MFR Cocktail Lounge on his channel on Friday after Friday Night Tights. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. If he does, I'll be there. And check that out. If you've got a couple of spare minutes and a beverage to hand, come join us at the lounge. And all of my regularly scheduled wrenching will be taking place over the course of the week. And I will see you there. Say hello. I'll always try and say hello back. Be seeing you.
All right. Well, Red Shirt, as always, sir, I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun as always. You've been like pretty much a semi-regular, man. I appreciate it. And I will see you next week for Rocky 2 for the Yang to the Yin.
Absolutely.
Pope Metallicus the First.
Hey guys, well, my next thing is going to be on Sunday at 4 Eastern. I'm going to be doing the Barons of Black Metal Bathory for my next episode of Rock and Roll Religion. I'm going to be doing the first 2 albums with Imperatus. So we're going to be talking the beginning of it.
Right.
And other than that, you can usually catch me in the chats on all of these guys' channels. Or I occasionally put up a video of my own. I'll probably be doing a little more of that going forward. So look forward to that. But yeah, other than that, sub to the channel. I have my own Gilded page that I'm sure you'll find if you're around Gilded. And other than that, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. And like guys, this is Pope Metallicus' channel. Go give him a sub and check out his content. All right. I look forward to that Bathory stream, dude. That's going to be kick-ass. And, of course, one of our other regulars here, a man of 800 channels and also amazing voices from Christian Bale to the Godfather himself.
Robo.
I have a plan, Tom. Trust me. It's going to come. It's going to come.
Do not come.
It's going to come.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
I'm going to come.
And I think that's all he's got. Well,
just how can you have toxic show like this and not done RoboCop? I mean, it's been my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I mean,
we still haven't done First Blood.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Don't worry.
Maybe that's what we should be doing next week instead of Rocky 2. Sorry, but yeah.
No.
No, I hear you. Rocky 2, you got to
stick to the plan.
No, I mean, I'm not here next week, so I need to be involved in some of these.
No, it's going to happen. Trust me. These all are going to happen, Tom, and that's a promise. But anyways, guys, Tom, are you going to do Mead Radio after this, or?
Maybe. Depends on the mood I'm in.
Okay.
I might have to run to the store and stuff, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise we got Midnight's Edge in the morning, stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, sir, as always, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Always love having your insights. And Brian, yes, there will be a place on Blazing Saddles too, as well as Black Dynamite. They are both inevitable.
Where are the white women at?
Oh, yes. All right. And then Dustin.
What is up? My channel, Keto Simple. All the keto recipes and keto review things of all the things you didn't know you wanted to eat. As always, I love being here. Thanks so much for always having me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man. You are awesome. And dude, if I did get your message, by the way. I'm gonna see if my schedule's lying, because if I can go out to Indiana for Deftones, that'll be great. I can't promise anything, but if the schedule looks good, I'm jetting out there, man, because you and I and Deftones is that needs to happen.
I got a pit ticket for that. I bought it like in 2019 or some shit.
$100 in 2019. Probably $200 now. Oh, that's funny. All right, dude. Well, anyways, thank you, man. I will miss you on here next week, but I will see you soon. All right. And now 70s.
Hey, I was about to put my wig on.
I'll put it on for everyone right now.
From the Metal
anyways.
Gods show yesterday. I can't put it on properly with the headset on, but this is what I wore.
Yeah, it looks
for the
good.
metal
Looks
goods.
good.
You got nice
later
hair.
on, I can
You know
pivot,
what they
see.
say, 70s? They say our love can't pay the rent.
It's not love that pays the rent.
Or it's earned, its money has all been spent.
Yeah, good one.
That's where you
Tom.
come
I
in,
like that.
Cher.
So
Thank you
yeah.
guys for giving me
I
69
did play
likes.
Sonny Bono. My wife and I did do Sonny Bono and Cher in a
That's cool.
party. Went to a birthday party dressed as them once. So yeah, had the tash and everything. So yeah, we had a great Metal Gods show yesterday on my channel, which Nick and Pope Metallicus, amongst others, joined me for. Replay is still up if you want to watch it. We had a lot of fun. And I just actually broke through 400 subscribers on that show.
Awesome.
That was pretty neat. I was without even
Smoking.
trying.
Must have been the wig.
It was the wig. It was the wig was getting the likes were going up to so I could put the wig back on. So yeah, it's only talking rolls I do on I'm doing them every second Monday right now because I'm at work and it takes a lot of prep time. Going quite well. So the next one will be not next Monday, the Monday after. No topic as yet and no fixed panel, but I'm sure that will be a lot of fun too. I did go back on Twitter, as some of you may have noticed recently.
You're on Twitter?
I decided to go back to Twitter after years of absence, so you may spot me on there chatting to some of you and following you. And also I spent a very nice afternoon this afternoon with Toxic Man Flu. We were very intimate. And Mrs. Flu is in the chat, so she needs to know that. Doing Discord, Gilded, our Lord and Savior Gilded stuff. So, but yeah, I will be in the MFR Cocktail Lounge on this coming Friday, and I am working on a couple of new videos, so just keep an eye out for those. And other than that, sub to everybody else on this panel, because we need to all go up together. So
we all have to get it up together.
Rising Float raises no boats or something, or some phrase.
All right. Mark D with the man who keeps the visuals going.
Thank you.
The collection of amazing toys. Sir, what do you got coming up this week?
Well, I'll be on tomorrow night on Clobby's Clubhouse. We're doing it a night earlier because then there's going to be reviews of that big Marvel movie that's coming out, Doctor Strange. So we're moving that a day earlier. And then I'll probably be doing it. I'm going to see the movie at 3 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern. So I'll probably do like a quick reaction video. So, the rumors, maybe we're going to see some crazy characters or maybe some FF characters, or, it's one of my favorites, but we'll see what the movie, that movie holds. And then Sunday night's my big show, Sunday Night Geekery, 10 p.m. Eastern. So, come check that out. I do toy reviews, 3D printing. Here's, a big Star Trek fan. So here's a cool, Vulcan salute, and just enjoy being on, shows like this and getting to hang out and talk comics, toys, toxic movies. It's been a fun time. So appreciate anyone who stops on our channel, and maybe I'll do a Fortnite stream after this. We'll see. It's May the 4th right now, so which is technically not the real Star Wars day, but Fortnite's got the lightsabers and blasters and stormtroopers in it for May the 4th. So maybe I'll do a stream after this one, so we can keep hanging out. So, but thank you, and looking forward to Rocky 2 next week.
All right, hey Mark, as always, I'm sure the chat and the panel all simultaneously agree. We thank you for your hard work in clipping these things together so we can keep the show and the visuals going. Especially, it's something that's never required or expected, but always appreciated, sir. And thank you for coming
Glad
back.
to do it.
Yeah, hey, we love it, and the world is a better place with Mark D with a C in it. So thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Yep, appreciate that.
All right, yeah, and then there's me, the last guy. All right, guys, once again, thank you. I know I have a few subs, a few newbies coming from me tonight. Thank you, by the way. And to all the regulars, thank you. Toxic Tuesday continues to reign supreme on Tuesday nights. Thank you. Seriously, this is awesome, and I can't believe this has been such an amazing ride, and we're still gonna keep on going. We're not slowing down. Guys, this is my Gilded. This is like Discord, only better, and it can get it up even better. Please give it a go on We'll have fun on there. We talk stuff. We talk whatever. It's great. We communicate. It's like a message board forum. It's fun. So come check it out. We have a great time on there. And seriously, just get the hell on there. This Friday, we're doing the 50th issue / episode of the Comic Shop Talk. It's with the number 50. It's going to be awesome. Tomorrow morning, afternoon, Thursday, I'll have a video on a band I've been digging that will be out, and I will have another video and surprise as well. So keep your eyes, ears open for that. And of course, Rocket 2 next week for the Toxic Tuesday and Yelling at Parked Cars. We'll be having Adam Krigler on this coming Monday, I think. We got Adam Krigler on this Monday, so that's going to be great. And, of course, I do meet with Tom on Tuesday night. So, anyways, guys, thank you all. You have been amazing. You all have a good, fantastic night. This is Goodbye, Good Fight.